Hi everyone, I am Chun Hao and I'm back with another video. Okay, I will do a Addmaths paper today. So this is the Addmaths Mathematics Tambahan and it's the Melaka paper. Yep. So this is the Melaka trial 2025 and it's the Addmaths paper 2. Okay. I already did the paper 1. So this video I'm doing the paper 2. Okay. Okay, if you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and also if you're interested to gain early access for my future prior videos, you can join my member. Okay, all the link is in the description. All right, let's start now. Okay, bahagian A, they want us to jawab semua soalan. All right, number 1. Okay, first let's see what chapter first. So you see square root, you see power, you see log. So confirm is from 4, chapter 4, the indices third logarithm chapter. Okay. Okay, number 1A is definitely a third question. Okay, yeah. So they want us to rationalize the denominator and simplify this thing. All right, when you rationalize, it means you want to get rid of the square root. That's the meaning of rationalize. Rationalize means you want to hilangkan dia punya square root lah. Tapi dia nak rationalize denominator sahaja. That means you want to hilangkan square root dekat bawah. Denominator means yang dekat bawah fraction ni. So macam mana nak hilangkan square root dekat bawah ni? You have to multiply with the conjugate cert. So now dia punya bawah is square root 3. So the conjugate cert will be square root 3 also. That will be the conjugate cert, right? So you darab dengan square root 3, and after you do that, make sure atas pun darab benda yang sama, and then after you darab, you automatic you punya square root akan hilang. Okay, so I'll just write it here. So square root 3 times square root 3 is 3 lah. So you sudah berjaya hilangkan square root kat bawah. And then atas pun kena darab square root 3, but this one is a 2 term. And then this bracket has 1 term. So cara kita darab is macam ni, macam ni. So square root 3 times 5 will be 5 square root 3. And then square root 3 times square root 3 is 3 lah. Yeah, because when you learn before, right? You learn in law of cert. When you have square root a times square root a, you get a. So square root 3 times square root 3 is 3. Okay. So dah siap lah ni hadapan dia. This is the answer. Okay. Alright. Of course, you can also write it like this. 5 over 3 plus 5 square root 3 over 3 plus 1. Yeah, but it's the same. Yeah. It's just that yang ini you pecahkan dia macam ni, pecahkan. And then dia akan jadi 5 square root 3 over 3 tambah dengan 3 over 3 which is 1 lah. But if you write like this also good enough di. So nak stop kat sini pun boleh, nak tulis macam ni pun boleh. Yeah. So that's how you rationalize lah. Alright, let's do B. So B, solve the equation for this. Solve means find the unknown lah. Okay, so means find K lah. Okay. Alright, so I'll do it here. Okay, they put bracket K over 169 power 1 over 2. Okay, power 1 over 2 means square root. Okay, so it means siapa yang kena square root, K pun kena square root, 169 pun kena square root. So it becomes square root K, and then the 169 also have to square root, and if you press that, you will get 13. Square root 169, and then times square root K equals to 6. And then yang ni darab square root K means dia darab atas sahaja. So what is square root K times square root K? K over 13 equals 6. Yeah, just now I tell you already, right? Square root A times square root A will give you A. So square root K times square root K will give you K lah. So K is 13 times 6 is 78. Yep, that's all. Alright, let's do C. Without using calculator, solve the equation for this. Okay, means I'm trying to find the unknown, which is the x. Okay, let's see. Log base 4 bracket log base 3 5 minus 2x equals to log base 16 4. Okay, how to cari x? Just slowly pindah everything to the other side lah. Yeah, just slowly pindah one by one until you tinggal x single dekat sini lah. Right? But first thing first, this one sebenarnya boleh buat tau. Because yeah, because 4 and 16 dia sebenarnya ada connection, right? Okay, so the log base 4 I leave it first. The log base 3 I write it like this. Sama dengan atas lah ini. Tapi yang log 4 16 ni boleh buat sebenarnya. Because 4 and 16 they have some connection. So tell me, 16 is here, but the 4, what I should do? You don't tell me 4 square like that. This is wrong. You cannot just, how to say it? Square suka hati tambah macam tu. It's wrong. So what you have to do is you have to think whether the 4 boleh tak dia tukar jadi base 16? Sebab kalau boleh, then you can tukar jadi base 16, then log and then the power boleh hantar depan, and then you can cut the log 16 16 because log 16 16 is 1, right? So actually 4 memang boleh tukar jadi base 16 because 4 is actually square root 16. Yeah, because square root 16 is 4. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Sebab kalau saya tukar jadi square root 16, square root is power 1 over 2, and then the power 1 over 2 can hantar depan, and then the log 16 16 can cut jadi 1. That's why I I make sure the 4 I change to base 16 because I want the number here and the number here sama. Sebab kalau sama boleh potong. Alright, now I will slowly pindah one by one lah, until I get X. So now I'll pindah the log base 4 to the other side. Alright, you learned before, this one is called anti-log, right? So when you pindah the log base to the other side, the log base will become the number base. So the log base 4, when you kick there, it becomes the number base. And then now the 1 over 2 become power already. And I told you 4 power 1 over 2 means square root 4. So you get 2 here lah. Okay. And then here you left with log base 3, 5 minus 2x. Now pindah what? The log base 3 lah. Same thing lah. 5 minus 2x. Okay, log punya base pindah sana jadi nombor punya base. So dia can jadi 3 and then the 2 become power. And we all know 3 power 2 is 9, right? So it becomes, now pindah the 5. So negative 2x equals, okay, 3 power 2 is going to be 9. And then minus 5, you get 4. So your x will be 4 divide negative 2, which is negative 2. So that is the answer. All right. So this is how I would do it. All right. So that's all. Okay. Okay, number 2, what chapter is this? Okay, HX, I see quadratic. Okay, I think it's from 4, chapter 2, the quadratic function chapter. Okay, let's read the soalan. Diagram 1 shows the cross section of a semicircular concrete seat. So diagram 1, this is diagram 1. Okay, there's 2 shape here. So I think this one is talking about this one lah. So it's a semicircular concrete seat. So ini tempat duduk. Okay, semicircle means half a circle, all right. Given that the hx is equals to negative 2x squared plus 19x minus 42, represents the curve of the outer part of the concrete seat. Outer part. So this is the outer part, right? Okay, but the inner part function, we don't know, right? The inner curve, that one they never give, but the outer curve function is given by this, all right? Okay, now A says find the distance AB of the seat. So that means I want to find the jarak from A to B macam tu lah. Okay, how to find the jarak here? Do we know the y-axis? Where's the y-axis? Okay, the y-axis should be here. Yeah, because when the B is positive, and if it's a set face, the y-axis should be on the left side. The axis of symmetry should be on the right side. But where is the x-axis? Alright, I think the x-axis has to be here. Because kalau tak ada cara untuk cari already. Yeah, it's the only way. The soalan never mentioned that the x-axis is here, but I think it has to be here because kalau dia bukan sini then tak ada cara untuk buat deh. Okay. Yeah, because if the x-axis is here, then baru ada cara untuk cari A dengan B. Betul lah. Kalau tak ada cara kan. So A and B has to be the x-intercept. So let me draw it out for you. This is the x-axis. It must be, right? The y-axis should be somewhere here. Yeah. And then the axis of symmetry is on the right side. Yeah, because the B is positive. Kalau dia set face and the B positive, the y-axis is on the left side. Okay, and then this one will be the y-axis, the x-axis. So I think that's the only way. And then now you can find the point A and point B because that's the roots, or you can say the x-intercept, right? And how you usually find the x-intercept is you sub y equals 0 lah. So it becomes the negative 2x squared plus 19x minus 42 equals 0. And if you want to find this one, you can factorize using the calculator. But before you press calculator, make sure the here is positive first. So saya boleh tukar tanda 2x square, tukar tanda minus 19x, tukar tanda plus 42 equals 0. And then baru I tekan calculator and I will end up with two answer. So my calculator give me 6 and 7 over 2. So I just write it like this. And then atas ini kena tulis bracket. And then this one is x minus 6. This one is 2x minus 7. Ya, hantar balik lah. 2 jadi darab, 7 jadi minus. Okay, obviously this one doesn't make sense. This question is a bit weird lah, guys. So that means the y-axis is not here lah. Right? Yeah, the y-axis can't be here because if the y-axis is here, then this must be negative number. But both number also I get positive. So I feel like the y-axis, yeah, it's still on the left side. It cannot be here. Confirm cannot be here. That one confirm wrong. So I feel like it has to be like way over here lah. Yeah, it's like way over here. And then this is the small number, this is the big number. That's the only way, right? Yeah, so I think it's like that. Okay. Yeah. Remember just now I said if it's a set face and the B is positive, the axis of symmetry has to be on the right side. So yeah, it's still on the right side. Yeah, it's just that your y-axis has to be way back before the A. Okay. Yeah, so this is the correct y-axis position. Okay, so now we know the y-axis is here. Now we can label nicely already. The point A is, okay, 702 is 3.5. So that one is smaller. So it has to be nearer to 0. And then the other one is 6. So now to find the distance from A to B, I can just take 6 minus 702. So I don't have space. I write here. So the distance of AB is equivalent to 6 minus 3.5, which gives you 2.5. Okay, and there's no unit for this, right? They never say cm or centimeter or meter, so we can just write units lah. Yeah, sebab dia tak ada, so we just write units. Okay, what should I do? Okay, let me make some space here. Okay lah, boleh. So I just write units. Okay, okay, let's do B. By using method of completing the square, find the maximum distance of the outside of the curve from AB. Dalam bahasa Melayu, cari jarak maksimum bahagian luar lengkung dari AB. Maximum distance of the outside curve from AB. Okay, where's AB? So we know that this is AB, right? This is AB. But they want the maximum distance of the outside curve. This is the outside curve, right? But they want the maximum distance of the outside curve from AB. So I think you have to find out. Definitely not like that lah, right? Takkanlah you cari distance yang sengit. So I think it has to be the vertical distance from here. The maximum, it goes until here lah. Because that's the highest point, right? The maximum point. So I think you are finding the distance here. This is what they're asking, right? That means you have to find out the y coordinate of this point. Yeah, because the y coordinate will tell you the distance from AB to here. Because this is the x-axis, right? So if you want the vertical height, the tinggi here, you need the y coordinate. Okay, you need the y coordinate. So you are finding the y coordinate of the maximum point. Alright, how do you find your maximum point usually? Ada tiga cara. Use completing the square, or you can also use the roots tambah bahagi dua. Because when you take the roots tambah bahagi dua, you get the axis of symmetry, and then take the thing ganti masuk to find y, then you dapatlah y. Or you can use the negative b over 2a formula also can. But the soalan already said use method of completing the square. So we cannot choose. So we have to use the method they said. So let's do the completing the square. Okay, the equation, write it down first. 19x minus 42. Okay, when you do completing the square, you will get a vertex form. And the vertex form will look something like this. Bracket square, and then here will be x plus p, and then plus q like that. Or you can write hk also can, whatever. Alright, so later your turning point, you can refer here for the x coordinate, here for the y coordinate. But the x coordinate, you have to cut under lah when you take it out. Okay. Alright, so let's change now. Okay, when we do completing the square, the a must be positive 1. Yeah, kalau tak, kita tak boleh buat completing the square lah. So what you have to do now is you have to divide everything by negative 2. And since the other side is not 0, that means the negative 2 you still have to write outside the bracket. Kalau sini kosong, then the negative 2 can padam terus. Kalau sini kosong lah, kalau the other side kosong. Sebab kosong boleh bahagi negative 2, then the negative 2 boleh hilang terus. Tapi ini tak boleh hilang lah. Alright, divide by negative 2 is x squared, divide by negative 2 is negative 19 over 2, divide by negative 2 is positive 21. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you. Okay, now it becomes equals negative 2, and you have to open the big bracket. And this bracket is very important because nanti last kali you kena ambil negative 2 darab masuk. Okay, so the big bracket now is very important. Now we can start doing completing the square. So dia akan jadi x square minus 19 over 2x. You have to add bracket square minus bracket square here. Okay, so dia akan jadi, I have to leave some space here, and then plus 21, and then leave some space here, and then tutup. Sini kena buat tambah bracket square, sini kena buat tolak bracket square. And then inside the bracket, you kena letak b over 2 lah. And the b you can refer sebelah sini. Okay, so the b is negative 19 over 2. But after 19 over 2, you kena over 2 lagi. Tapi bahagi 2, you can write it like this, times 1 over 2. So dia akan jadi negative 9 over 2 times 1 over 2. Yalah, because bahagi 2 means times 1 over 2 lah, it's the same thing. Okay, but if you write like this, dia nampak kemas sikit. Okay, dia kan, now next thing is negative 2. The big bracket still have to write. Sekarang you kena ignore this one. Jangan tengok ni, just tengok this one and tengok this one. And they both have square, so you can open a bracket, the square boleh letak luar. So dalam tulis x, square tulis luar. Yang ni dalam tulis negative 19 over 2 times 1 over 2 is negative 19 over 4. Ya, atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. And then the square tulis bawah. And then plus 21 minus, okay, this one you already know is negative 19 over 4, but this time you have to square. This time you have to square. So when you take negative 19 over 4 square, you will get 361 over 16. And of course, you have to close the big bracket also. Okay. And then now what you have to do is ni boleh buat. So sekarang saya buat yang ni, tolak dulu, and then only I take the negative 2 darab masuk. That means the big bracket still have to write, because sekarang saya buat ini tolak ni dulu. So you press calculator, you get negative 25/16. Okay. Now for the final step is take the negative 2 darab masuk. And when you darab masuk, then the big bracket tak payah tulis dah. Okay. That's why I said just now the big bracket sangat penting. Sebab kalau you tak buka big bracket ni, then you will forget to darab masuk, then it's wrong already. Because you thought this one is the vertex form, but no. You kena darab masuk. Alright, when you darab masuk, benda ni dia tak boleh masuk dalam bracket sebab bracket ni ada square. Maksudnya kalau nak darab, dia darab macam ni je. You just darab macam ni, and then the negative 2 you tulis dekat luar. Okay. Ya, dia tak boleh masuk dalam bracket because bracket ni ada square. So and then yang belakang pun kena darab negative 2 lah. So dia akan jadi apa? X plus 19/4 square. And then negative 2 times negative 25/16 is positive 25/8. Like that. So as you can see, this is already your vertex form. Okay. Your A is negative 2. And then your P, this one is your P, this one is your Q lah. Okay, but they want the maximum distance, right? And I told you, the maximum distance will be the y coordinate. So let's baca the whole point first, the maximum point. So titik maximum you apa? Okay, this will tell you the x coordinate. Tapi bila you ambil keluar, you kena tukar tanda. So dia akan jadi positive 19/4. And then the y coordinate, yang tu ambil terus. This one tak payah tukar tanda. Okay. So now tell me, what is the maximum distance of the outside curve from AB? So the maximum distance will be the jarak from here to here lah. Right, from here to here. Okay, which is the y coordinate. So the answer is 25/8 lah. So I'll just write here maximum distance, or you can say maximum value. Yeah, maximum, because the y coordinate we call it maximum value. So it's 25/8, and dia tak ada unit juga kan. So just tulis unit saja, units. Macam tu. Okay, alright, that's all. Okay, number 3. This is a progression chapter. So from 4 chapter 5. Janjang, Janjang punya chapter. Okay, I will do my A up here. Alright, it is given that ... 145, x, y, 138 is part of an arithmetic progression. That means the difference here and the difference here and the difference here should be the same. Difference, because arithmetic mah. Arithmetic means tambah tolak kan. So nanti dia punya difference ini sama lah. And the 16th term of the progression is 138. Oh, so it means these 4 terms are right next to each other, and this is the T16. That means this will automatically be T15, and this will be T14, and this will be T13. And then A says find the first term and the common difference. Okay, soalan A, nak cari first term and common difference means nak cari A dengan D lah. Alright, obviously the A is not 145 because that's the T13. So macam mana saya nak cari T1, the first term? Let's see. Okay, we have some information here. We know T13 is 145, right? And then we also know T16 is 138. But the T14, T15, we don't know. They just put XY, right? If they give you the T15, then it's very easy already to find D. Because you just take 138 tolak dengan Y, then you get the D already. Tapi dia tak bagi XY kan? So why not we just write like this, T16, 138. And then we can do simultaneous lah later. Yeah, use the Tn formula. But you don't have the AD. So later you have 2 equations and then do simultaneous. Okay, the formula for Tn is A plus N minus 1D. Okay, so we will use this formula to write the equation. T13 will be A plus 12D equals 145. T16 will be A plus 15D equals 138. And the A and D memang tak ada. You nak cari sekarang. A dengan D memang tak ada. Kalau ada, then I don't have to do all this already. Memang tak ada lah. So that's why I do like that. And then now we do simultaneous equation. We can do penggantian or penghapusan. Okay, I think I will just do penghapusan because A dengan A boleh hapus. And dia punya susunan pun sudah sama. A, D, and then number on the other side. A, D, number on the other side. So I'll just transfer this down here. A plus 12D equals 145. And then hapuskan A. Tapi kena tolak lah. So A tolak A, so kosong. 15 minus 12 is 3D. 138 minus 145 will be negative 7. And your D is negative 7/3. And it makes sense because your number is getting smaller. 145 to 138, yeah, it's getting smaller. So your D is negative. Now how to find A? You just ganti masuk. So dia akan jadi when D equals to negative 7/3, your A plus 12D equals to 145. And this one is negative 7/3. Okay. So now how you cari you punya A? Okay, kita buat yang ni dulu lah. 3 dengan 12 boleh potong kan. 12 bahagi 3 is 4. 4 times negative 7 is negative 28 equals 145. And then 145 plus 28 is 173. Okay. And yeah, this is the answer. Soalan suruh cari A dengan D kan. So yeah, betul lah. Okay, let's do B. Find the smallest of value of n such that n term is negative. So as you can see, the number is getting smaller and smaller. Yeah, because 145 minus 703 mesti dia akan jadi smaller kan. And then you minus 703 getting smaller. Minus 703 you get 138. And if you keep going, it will get smaller and smaller and smaller. And eventually, one of the term will be negative. And the soalan asks you to find the smallest value of n. Alright. So T16 is still positive. T17 still positive. T18 still positive. So when will it get negative? That's what the question wants, right? Okay, we don't know when, right? It will just keep going, but we don't know when. So maksudnya Tn less than 0 lah. Negative means you punya nilai tu akan jadi smaller than 0. Okay. So apa you buat sekarang? You buat Tn smaller than 0 and then cari n. So that's what it means by finding the smallest value of n when the n term is negative. So since we don't know which term will be negative, so the n is unknown, but we do know that the n term must be negative, so the Tn must be less than 0. Okay, and you just find for n. Okay, okay, same formula, a plus n minus 1d, but this time your a you know already 173, and then the n minus 1 itu n memang mau cari, so just tulis n minus 1 saja, and then the d is negative 703 lah. But make sure you know this negative 703 nanti kena darab. Dia bukan tolak tau, dia darab. Okay, smaller than 0, so sekarang darab lah. So dia jadi negative 703n. And then negative 703 times negative 1 is positive 703. Then what we do, we will set 173, just write it lah. And then smaller than 0. Okay, now just solve for n. Ya, just cari n. Okay, kalau saya akan buat ni tambah ni dulu. Lepas tu baru pindah. Tambah dulu baru pindah. So nak cari n, so n nanti kena single lah. Tapi I tambah dulu. 173 plus 703, you press, you get 526/3. Okay, and then smaller than 0. Sekarang baru saya pindah. So dengan jadi negative 703n smaller than 526/3. And let me tell you something, the 3 can straight away erase it. Ya, dia boleh hilang terus 3 tu. Kenapa boleh hilang is because this one bahagi 3. Bila you hantar sana dia jadi darab 3 and then cut dia lah. That's why the 3 boleh tak payah tulis 3 tu. Sebab both side also ada over 3/3. So that's why dia hilang. So now you boleh cari n lah. 526 divide negative 7. So it will look like this. 526 over negative 7. And wait, when you divide negative, this symbol have to terbalikkan. So the smaller now becomes bigger already. The n is bigger already. So now it becomes n bigger. And then this one confirm with a negative number, right? But wait. I feel like I did something wrong. 526/3 pindah sana jadi negative. Sorry guys. This one I terlupa negative. Yeah, 526/3 pindah sana jadi negative. So now it should become what? So let me betulkan. So this should be negative 7n smaller than negative 526. Like that. And then your n is negative 526 divided negative 7, right? Which is 526/7 lah. Because negative bagi negative is positive. But when you divide negative, this symbol kena terbalik. So smaller jadi bigger macam tu. And now we can press calculator and see what they give us in decimal. In decimal. So now let's tekan and the calculator will give you 75.14. Just write 4 significant figure lah. 75.14. Okay, so the n has to be bigger than 75.14. Tapi n is the bilangan term, tau. N is the bilangan term, the number of terms. And the bilangan term, number of term tak boleh ada negative, tak boleh ada fraction, tak boleh ada decimal. Okay, yeah, the n represents the number of terms. So the number of terms, bilangan tak boleh ada negative, tak boleh ada fraction, tak boleh ada decimal. So you have to round off lah basically. But you don't round off jadi 75, You have to round off jadi 76. The reason is because you have to look at the symbol also. If you write 75 is wrong because your solution here is n has to be bigger than 75.14. Imagine if you write 75. Adakah 75 bigger than 75.14? No, right? Your 75 is not bigger than 75.14. So it has to be 76. Okay? And also the soalan says find the smallest value of n. So the smallest value of n is 76 lah. Of course, 77, 78, 79 also bigger than this. But the smallest value of n would be 76. Okay? The smallest integer. The smallest integer that is nearest to this is 76. Okay? So that's the answer. So your n is 76. And the soalan also asks you to find n only. So that's the answer. Okay? Alright, let's do C. Find the sum of the 41 term to the 70th term. What's the meaning of sum? What's the meaning of this? It means they want to find T41 plus T42 plus T43 plus dot until T70. Okay. So a fast way to do it is you just find the S70 first and then minus the S40. Yeah, that's the fast way to do it. Because T41 plus T42, you're finding the sum, right? So what you can do is you find the sum of first 70 terms dulu. You cari sum of first 70 terms and then you tolak dengan the first 40 terms. Then the remaining balance, that would be the answer lah. Okay. Okay. Some student will make this careless mistake. They will straight away, because when they read the question, 41 to 70, so some might go and do like that, S70 minus S41. Okay, if you do like that, wrong already. Because dia nak 41 to 70 term. Kalau you tolak S41, that means you tolak the first 41 term. So what happens is like wrong already lah. Because 41, you mau. You want to include the 41 term. So if you want to include the 41 term, you should not minus the 41 term. You should minus the term before 41, which is 40. Make sense, huh? Alright, so now we do the SN formula. The formula is n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. Okay, you all should know this formula, huh? Okay, so sekarang kita masuk saja lah. So 70 over 2 big bracket 2a plus n minus 1d. And then nanti sini tolak dengan same thing, 40 over 2 n over 2 big bracket 2a plus n minus 1 d also lah. Okay. So the d I will write here later. Okay, so what will be the a? Let's tadi sudah ada 173, right? So that's the a, 173, 173. And then n minus 1 means for this will be 70 minus 1, so 69. 40 minus 1 is 39. And then the dd will be negative 703. So sini masuk je lah, negative 703, negative 703. Okay, 7 bahagi 2 is 35. And then dalam ni I will just tekan everything in the calculator. Okay, macam mana saya tulis, macam tu lah tekan. Okay, just ikut je macam ni tekan. Bracket semua kena letak lah. And they will give you 185. Okay, now for the next part, minus 40 bahagi 2 is 20. And then dalam ni pun sama lah, just tekan saja. Tekan semua ni, press in the calculator, let the calculator give you, do for you, and then you get 255. And then lastly, you just tekan semua ni, 35 darab 185 minus 20 times 255, and you will get 1375. So that's the answer lah. That's the sum of 41 term to the 70 term. Okay. Alright. Is that all? Yes. So the full mark is 2 plus 2, 3, 7 marks. Okay. Sudah siap. Okay. Let's continue. Number 4. Alright. What chapter is this? Okay. Let's read the question. Amira wants to make jelly to be given as souvenirs for her wedding by using a mold in the shape of a right prism as shown in diagram 2 below. So this is the mold that is used to make the jelly. Okay. So, okay. And then it is given that the total length of the side of right prism is 75 cm. Okay, I still don't know which chapter. So let's keep reading. PTQ. Okay, let's label first lah. Okay, obviously 75 is the what? The total length of the side. And you have how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So all the 9 sides add together is 75 lah. That's what it means. Okay. And then PTQU is 13. Okay, we should label this. PT mana? Sini 13. QU is also 13. Alright. PQ equals QR. So ini dengan ni sama. Okay. And the UR is bigger than QR. UR is longer than QR. Yeah, I can see it. Dengan mata pun boleh nampak kan. UR memang lebih panjang. Okay. And then determine whether the mold is suitable to be used for producing jelly with a volume of 155. Give your justification. Okay, this is bad. I still don't know which chapter. I feel like it's I think it's just okay, I think it's simultaneous, guys. Yeah, I think you have to form equation and then you do simultaneous equation. Okay. All right. Let's form the first equation. The first equation will be this one lah. Okay, the 75, right? Okay, 75 is the total length of the side. So jumlah panjang sisi untuk semua sisi lah. So kalau nak cari sisi semua, okay, I know this is 13. But this one I don't know, right? So, but this one and this one sama panjang. So I think I can let this become X. Because if this is X, this is also X. And guess what? This is also X. Because this one sama dengan this one. And this is also X. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay. Tapi saya nak cari jumlah. Then what about this line? Okay, this line dia bukan X, right? Dia bukan X. Dia lebih panjang daripada X. Let's call it Y lah. Yeah, let's call it Y. Because I'm trying to form the equation. Okay, so now I think I know what to do. So first thing first, let's find the panjang sisi sini. 13 tambah X tambah Y. Itu jumlah sisi sini kan. But you will take everything bracket times 2. Because there's another triangle dekat sini. Right? And then after you times 2, you will plus with this X and this X and this X. Which is 3X lah. So I just write plus 3X. And then the whole thing equals to 75. Okay, let's expand 26 plus X plus 2X plus 2Y sebab dia dah darab kan. And then tambah 3X sama dengan 75. Okay, X dengan X boleh buat. So 5X tambah 2Y. Okay, 26 boleh hantar sana jadi minus. So you get 49. Alright, so this is your first equation. Right, your first equation. And to get the second equation, okay, they say determine whether the mole is suitable to be used with a volume 1. So I think I need to cari XY dulu lah. Ya, after cari XY, then baru kita boleh cari volume. And then baru kita boleh tahu whether the volume is more than 155 or less than 155. But first I need to find XY. So I have to form another equation myself. So we can use Pythagoras theorem. Yeah, because you can see that this is a right angle triangle ma. So right angle triangle, you can use a formula to form a equation yang melibatkan tiga-tiga ni, tiga-tiga panjang ni. Okay, so the formula that we will use is the Pythagoras theorem, so that we can form another equation. So 13xy dia akan jadi x square plus y square equals 13 square. Okay, because the Pythagoras theorem says that these two sides, when you square tambah, you will get the longer side square. So now you have your second equation. Okay, but the 13 square you can tekan lah, you get 169. So that's your equation 2, right? So now what you could do is you can do, okay, you can see satu ni equation ni dia adalah linear equation, but this one is non-linear because the power is power 2. So kalau jumpa case yang macam ni, satu equation linear, satu equation non-linear, you must use penggantian cara. Yeah, that's the only way. You kena buat penggantian. You cannot do penghapusan. It doesn't work. You tak boleh buat penghapusan. So you have to do the substitution method lah, penggantian. And we will always start from the linear equation and jadikan x single or y single lah. Okay, let's say I jadikan y single lah. So dia akan jadi 49 tambah 5x jadi tolak 5x, darab 2 jadi bahagi 2, and I'll call this equation 3. And then I'll sub 3 into 2, then I can cari x jadi. So I just write sub 3 into 2. Okay, I don't have enough space. I'll continue down here. Where I should write it. Okay, I'll just write it. Okay lah, I'll just continue here lah. So ini akan jadi x square plus y square equals 169. But the y you will ganti dengan ni 49 minus 5x over 2. Okay, so sekarang kita buat yang bracket square ni dulu lah. So x square yang ni tulis, yang 169 ni tulis. Okay, how to square this? Alright, siapa yang kena square? Atas ke bawah? Okay, sebenarnya both. Dua-dua kena square. Atas pun kena square, bawah pun kena square. Alright, kalau bawah square dia akan jadi 2 square akan jadi 4. And then atas square, alright, this one a lot of students will make careless mistake. Because a lot of students they thought like, oh, just ambil ini square and then ambil ini square. Salah. 49 minus 5x square, what's the meaning? The meaning is like this. 49 minus 5x bracket square. So what it means is actually you have to take 49 minus 5x darab dengan 49 minus 5x. And then you have to buat macam ni, macam ni, macam ni, macam ni. So you cannot just take 49 times 49 negative 5x. I cannot. You have to also have to do the middle part. Okay. Or you can use the formula a minus b square is a square minus 2ab plus b square. Okay. Just do this. So I will use this to expand. So dia akan jadi apa? 49 square. First you have to take a square lah. So 49 square. So you will get what? If you press calculator, you get 2401. Okay, 2401. And then the next part is you have to take negative. You have to take a darab b and then darab 2. Okay, so 49 times 5x and then times 2, you will get negative 490x. So I repeat, the negative 490 comes from 49, 49 darab dengan 5x dulu, and then darab 2. But I have to put negative lah. Because 49 darab negative 5, it will be negative. And then darab 2. And the last part is baru ambil negative 5x kuasa 2. So you get plus 25x square. Okay, let me write nicely for you. So dia akan jadi 490x tambah dengan 25x square and then equals 169 like that. Ini baru cara betul untuk kembang. Okay, sekarang how to cari x. Alright, ada fraction. So bila ada fraction, mesti you akan try to hilangkan fraction. How to hilangkan? Everything times 4. Because when you take everything times 4, the 4 here, fraction tu hilang lah. So dia jadi 4x square Tambah dengan, okay, yang 2401 minus 490x ni semua you boleh tulis saja. Tambah 25x square. Because when you take this one darab 4, the 4 cut di. Boleh potong. So tinggal atas je lah. Sama dengan 169 darab 4. Okay, yang ni boleh tekan kereta, you dapat 676. Okay. And after you reach here, you see that your x ada square. So bila ada square, apa you kena buat? Means dia quadratic lah. So you have to susun everything on one side equals 0. And then use the calculator to factorize untuk dapatkan x. So 4x square plus 25x square is 29x square. And then negative 490x, dia seorang saja yang ada x. So kita tulis 2401 minus 676. Ini boleh tekan dapat positive 1725. Okay, sekarang dia dah jadi quadratic. Sekarang boleh tekan kereta, dapatkan nilai x lah. Okay, high chance ada dua jawapan lah. So if you press calculator, dia memang bagi 20 answers. And both answers are jawapan yang cantik. Jawapan cantik means dia boleh tukar fraction. So we can just write the answer here. 3, 4, 5 or 29. And then the other one will be 5. Okay. Okay, bracket equals 0. And then yang ini kita boleh tulis balik. So kena darab balik lah. Bahagi jadi darab. So 29x. And then positive 345 pindah balik jadi minus 345. And then 5 pindah balik jadi x minus 5. Okay. Okay, so x ada dua jawapan. Ha? So when there's two answers, you should always check whether you need to reject one of the answer or not. But looking at this, we still don't know. Ya, sebenarnya kita tak tahu yang mana kena reject, yang mana tak payah reject. So what I will do now, I will use both the answer ganti untuk cari y. Okay, because dua-dua pun possible kan. Ya, x memang boleh, unless this one is negative lah. Kalau ini negative, then confirm that one cannot ambil because panjang tak ada negative, right? Tapi ini positif, okay. And panjang memang boleh ada fraction, okay. Okay, so tak apa, kita ambil dua-dua jawapan dulu. I'm sure later when I ganti masuk cari y, then I will know which one to reject. So, how to cari balik y, kita ganti dalam equation 3. Equation 3. So, your y is equal to 49 minus 5x over 2. And then ganti again for here, 49 minus 5x over 2. Alright, so 3, 4, 5 over 29, ganti masuk. And then ini 5. Okay, now just use your calculator and press this, okay. Alright, if you press all this in your calculator, you will get negative 152 over 29. But y is actually the panjang UR. Panjang sini. So panjang tak boleh ada negative. So automatic yang ni reject lah. And when you reject this y answer, it means the x cannot be this also. Okay. So this set of answer tak boleh ambil. Okay. But I recommend you show the working also. During the exam, tunjuk juga working. Tunjuk juga. Alright. And then what about here? You dapat 12, 12. Okay. Yeah. So this is the only answer that makes sense. X 5, y 12. So let's label this in the diagram. So yang ni 5, yang ini 12. Okay, sekarang kita boleh buat apa? Cari dia punya volume kan? Because the soalan ask determine whether the mold is suitable to be used for producing jelly with a volume 155. So sekarang kita cari volume, and if the volume is more than 155, then we say yes lah. Yeah, we say yes. This mold can produce a jelly that is volume 155. Okay, but if it's less than 155, then that means no lah. Okay, how to find volume of this shape? You find the cross-section area times height. Okay, because this is a right prism. So you learn this in mathematics, right? To find the volume of a 3D prism shape, you will take the cross-section, and the cross-section of this shape is this right angle triangle. So cari luas ini, cari area sini, and then darab dengan dia punya height, and dia punya height will be x, which is 5 lah. So find the area of triangle, which is 1 over 2 times 5 times 12, and then times with 5. So the volume is equals to 1 over 2 times 5 times 12. Okay, you get the area of triangle, right? And then times with the height, 5. Okay. Alright, tekan all this, then you will get 150. And the unit will be in cm, because everything is in cm, so this one is cm cube. Okay. So determine whether the mold is suitable to be used for producing jelly with a volume of 155. The answer is no, right? The no. Because this, the volume yang keluar is 150 saja, right? So we say no, and then give a justification. So sebab dia macam mana tulis? So you can write since 150 cm cube is less than 155 cm cube, comma, therefore what? Therefore the mold is just salin yang ni lah, is not suitable. Yeah, is not suitable to be used for producing jelly. To be used for producing jelly with a volume of with a volume of 155 cm cube. Okay. So untuk soalan yang suruh give a justification, give a reason, you memang kena tulis satu ayat macam tu. Yeah, you have to write a sentence like that, and you can just easily write it. Yeah. So this how I would write it. Okay. So that's the answer. Okay, that's all. Okay, let's do number 5A. Okay, this is clearly from 4 chapter 1. The function, fungsi. Okay, let's do it. Given that fx equals to m over x plus n, where x cannot equal 0. This is the undefined case lah. Yeah, you know why, right? X cannot equal 0. Because when the x is 0, that means this is 0. And when you divide by 0, you will have math error. Because you can't divide by 0. Sebab tu x tak boleh sama dengan kosong. And then the f(x) equals to f inverse x. Show that m plus n square equals 0. Oh, so it's a show question. So untuk soalan yang ada perkataan show ataupun tunjukkan, so for show question usually they will give you the answer. They will give you the answer, and you have to buat tak nampak. You have to buat tak nampak benda ni, and then you have to do yourself using this information yang dia bagi, just buat sendiri lah. And then try your best to make your final answer look like this. Yeah, try to make your answer like this. Okay. Yeah, because untuk soalan jenis show memang they will give you the answer. And you have to show the working lah. So ini jawapan you. Okay, let's write down the information first. Fx equals to m over x plus n. Okay, so they also tell you that the ffx equals to f inverse x. So what I will do now? Find the ffx and the f inverse x lah. And then take both answer side by side equal macam tu lah. Okay. Okay, let's find the answer for ffx first. Okay. And I think I'll do it separately. Yeah, do separately first. Nanti baru saya gabung dua-dua dalam satu equation. Okay. Okay, ffx. So, kena buat dalam dulu kan? So, f yang dekat luar biar dulu, kena buat dalam dulu. So, fx sudah ada, boleh ganti m over x plus n macam tu. Okay, sekarang dalam tak boleh buat, baru tengok luar. So, bila tengok luar, dekat luar is f. Maksudnya, you kena ambil ini, m over x plus n, you have to ganti dalam fx punya x. So, you have to substitute this whole thing inside the fx punya x. So what is your fx punya x? So your fx is m over x plus n. But this whole thing will be masuk dalam the fx punya x. So this whole thing become like this lah, m over x plus n. Alright, now we can... Okay, how do we simplify this? Okay, I will try my best to make it single fraction. But this is kind of... Okay, okay, I'll jadikan yang ni single fraction dulu. Yang bawah. So dia akan jadi m over... And then this one, make it single fraction means the n have to times with x. The n have to times with x. So it becomes m plus nx over x. Kenapa I darab x is because saya nak tulis atas. Saya nak jadikan dia single fraction macam ni. And then tambah n. And kalau dia sudah single fraction, sekarang kita boleh buat yang ni dah. So m bahagi m plus nx over x. It means m darab x over m plus nx. Because divide with this, it means darab dengan terbalik dua-dua ni lah. So it becomes m times x over m plus nx, and then plus with n. And then now we change it to single fraction. But when you change it to single fraction, the n have to times with the m plus nx. So it becomes plus n bracket m plus nx over m plus nx. Yeah, because we want to samakan dia punya bawah kan. So that's why you ambil satu ni darab dengan m plus nx, atas pun darab benda yang sama lah. Okay, now it becomes what? It becomes mx plus with, okay, n times m, that gives you mn. N times n, it becomes n square with the x, and then over m plus nx. Okay, I don't think I can go any further already. This is like the simplest form already. And there's nothing to cut here. Yeah, nothing. You cannot cut this one. The other plus plus. And also, can you factorize? Okay, these three terms. Ada tak? Is there any, apa? Tiga-tiga term ni boleh tak bahagi dengan anything yang divide with any same thing? Cannot, right? Yang ni ada m, ini ada m, ini tak ada m. Yeah, so yeah. So I think that's the answer for the ffx. Now the next step is to find the answer for f inverse. Okay, the way I always teach my student to find f inverse is let both sides equals to y. So the left side is fx, let that equals to y, and then the other side m over x plus n, that one also equals to y. And then sini cari x, sini pun cari x. Okay, alright. So cari x, so your x will be f hantar sana jadi f inverse y. So now my job is to cari x ini, and then the x you can ganti with the f inverse y. Okay, alright. So how to cari x? First pindah n dulu, sebab you nak x single you nak x single. So pindah n jadi y minus n, and since you want the x single, yang ni boleh tukar tempat. X hantar atas jadi darab, and then yang y minus n ni hantar bawah jadi bahagi. So just tukar tempat lah. And after you sudah cari x single, itulah you punya f inverse y. So your f inverse y will be m over y minus n. But you want f inverse x, right? So your f inverse x will be m over, just change the y to x minus n like that. Okay. Okay. They asked us to show that m plus n squared equals 0. And they told us the f of x and the f inverse x should be equal. That means ini boleh sama dengan ni lah. Dua ni boleh sama dengan. Alright, so bila you connect, dia akan jadi apa? Okay, I need space. Alright, I'll just buat macam ni. Mx plus mn plus n square x over m plus nx equal, and then this one you masuk sini lah, m over x minus n. Okay, sekarang boleh buat apa? Cross multiply. Ya, you have single fraction on both sides, so something over something equals something over something, boleh darab silang. Okay, so bila you darab silang, m plus m will be m square, m plus nx, that will be m nx. Okay, and then this one and this one, how to darab? Okay, this one dia ada 3 term, yang ni dia ada 2 term. So bila you darab nanti dia akan ada 6 term. Okay, because you take 3 term darab 2 term, dia akan jadi 6 term. And let me do it slowly for you, so you are not confused. So I will just write this one first. Bracket mx plus mn plus n square x macam ni, and then bracket darab dengan ni x minus n, right? And then when you darab, dia ada 6 term nanti. So the first one is mx darab x dulu lah, dia akan jadi mx square. This is the first one. Okay, and then the second term is mx times negative n, and the one you will get negative mnx. Okay, and then the next one will be second term from here, darab the first term from here. So that one will be plus mnx lah. And you realize ini dua boleh potong kan? So that's good. Later I'll potong. And then the next one will be positive mn times negative n. So dia akan jadi negative mn square. Betul lah? Mn times, betul lah? Okay, and then the next one, now we go to the third term and repeat the same process lah. N square x darab x, so that will be positive n square x square, like that. And then the last one is n square x times negative n, which is negative n power 3x. And then equal, okay, the right side is still the same, m square plus mnx. Alright, sampai sini. Okay, let me make some space. Okay, the soalan want us to show that what? Show that n plus n square equals 0, right? But the x kacau Yeah, because the soalan says show that n plus n square equals 0. So, ada tak apa-apa cara untuk hilangkan x ni? Can I divide everything by x? Tak guna juga. Sebab kalau you bahagi everything by x, x ni tak hilang pun sebenarnya. Because you can see this one, when you bahagi x, yeah, the x is still there. Alright, so untuk soalan yang macam ni, kita kena banding lah. Kita kena compare. Okay, so guys, this is how I always teach my own student. I always tell them, if there's too many unknown in one equation, then you should just compare. Don't try to pindah, because it doesn't matter how you pindah, yang ini ke sini, yang ini ke sini, doesn't matter, because doesn't matter how you pindah also, the x will still be there. Because you punya jawapan tak nak x tau, but it doesn't matter how you pindah also useless one, because okay, ini dengan ni boleh potong, but the x is still there. Yeah, you can't get rid of the x. It's like a mosquito, like keep on kacau you. So it's like there's no way for me to get rid of the x. So what we should do? Okay, since kita dah stuck dekat sini, kita boleh banding. Yeah, we can compare both sides of the equation. As you can see, the mx square and the n square x square, they both have x square. So what we can do is we can factorize out the x square like this. And then we write the coefficient m plus n square. Yeah, because the x square when you bahagi tinggal m, and then yang ni bahagi dia akan jadi n square. And then the next thing I will write yang ada x, which is negative n kuasa 3x. And then the last one I will write the negative mn square. This one I write last kali sebab dia tak ada x. Okay. And on the other side, oh dia tak ada x square. That means the coefficient of x square is 0 lah. Okay. And then the next thing I will write yang ada x, which is tambah mnx macam ni. And then the m square I tulis last kali. Because dia tak ada x square, so they want last kali lah. So as you can see now, you can compare lah. The reason I write this is because I want to compare. So when you compare, dia jadi macam mana? So the number before x square and the number before x square banding. And then the number before x and the number before x banding. Okay? And then lastly is this one dengan this one, right? Okay, so let's write it down. So dia akan jadi m plus n square equals 0. That's the first one. And then the next one is negative n cubed equals to mn. Okay. And then the last one is negative mn square equals to m square. Okay. So I don't think I'll be using this. Yeah. So yang ni boleh yang ni sudah sama kan? The soalan says show that m plus n square equals 0. So that's the answer. Okay. Okay, what if I try to do it from here? M plus so how since I want okay, so mn equals to negative n kuasa 3. So pindah yang ni ke sini, dia akan jadi sama dengan kosong. So dia jadi mn plus n cube. And then both these terms can divide by n. So divide by n, factorize out the n. So left with m plus n square equals 0. And then m plus n square equals to 0 divide n, 0 also. Yeah, so this is also same with this. So shown lah, that's the answer. Okay, this is how I would do it. Okay, yeah. Kita takkan guna yang ni lah. Sebab if you do this, can I get the same? I don't know. Let's try. 0 equals m square plus mn square. And then when you factorize the m, you left with m plus n square. Yeah, sama saja mah this one. See? 0, yeah. Same also. Yeah, m plus n square equals 0. So, it means you buat macam ni pun dapat result sama, ini pun sama, ini pun sama. Okay. So I think you just choose one to do it lah. Okay. Wait, let me double check. M square, betul lah, ini jadi tambah kan? And then they both can divide by m. So you left with m plus n square. And then the m pindah sini jadi 0 bahagi m 0. So yeah, it's the same lah. Yeah, so yeah, doesn't matter which one you compare also, you end up with the same result. So sudah berjaya show. So itulah jawapan dia. Sudah siap. Okay. Okay, let me do B. Okay, I have some space here. Let's use this space to do B. Okay, given that fx equals to 2x minus 3, find the values of p if ff inverse p minus 2 equals 3 over p and p is not when p is not equal to 0. Okay, guys, when you see ff inverse together, dia boleh potong. Yeah, I remember I pernah cakap this one. I forget which state paper I did, but I forgot which one lah, but I pernah, yeah, like in the recent video, ada satu trial paper yang dia tanya macam ni juga. So, when you have ff inverse, dia sebenarnya boleh potong. Kalau satu normal function, satu inverse, together like that, you can cut. So, it just left with p minus 2 equals 3 over p. Because the ff inverse sudah potong. Okay. And then now you can just find p lah. You don't even need this. Okay. Yeah, you don't need that. So, sekarang hilangkan fraction. And macam mana hilangkan? Darab p lah semua. So, darab p square. And then darab p 2p. And then equals to 3. Okay. Okay, bila ada square means quadratic, that means you will get two answer, but you have to susun jadi general form first. So p square minus 2p minus 3 equals 0. And then tekan calculator dapat dua jawapan lah. Okay, this one if you press, you will get negative 1 and 3. And then here you write bracket bracket equals 0. And then ini pindah balik jadi p plus 1. Ini pindah balik jadi p minus 3. Okay, when you have two answer, you should always double confirm check whether you need to reject or you don't have to reject. So let's check, find the values of p. And also they never said p must be positive or negative. And they already said values. So I think both answer you have to ambil. Untuk soalan ni tak boleh reject. You have to take both. Okay. Alright, so that's it. Sudah siap. Okay, let's do number 6 pula. Okay, apa ini chapter? Looks like a vector question. So from 4 chapter 8. Okay, in diagram 3, ABCD is a quadrilateral. ABCD, this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, betul. Next one, AED, CFE, BFD are straight line. Okay lah, this one all useless one lah, tak penting pun. Given that, ini baru penting. AB vector is 20x, so you gonna label A to B 20x. Remember, when you label vector, always put the arrow because the direction is important. AE is 4y, so the direction has to go A to E 4y. Next one, BC 5x plus 4y. Mana BC sini lah, 5x plus 4y. Hey, that means you can find your EC vector lah. Betul lah. Because EC you can just go like that, like that, like that, right? Because and also you have all three lines, all three vector here. Okay, next one, BD. Oh, like that BD. So I think for this I will draw extra line. Because dia punya F kacau kan. So I draw extra line. And then I label like this. And then I write negative 20x plus 16y. So it's for the whole line BD. Yeah? Okay, next one is BD equals 4 BF. This one you can draw a rainbow to label the ratio. BD dia punya ratio 4. So that's the whole line. And then BF, the ratio, nothing here is 1. So BF ratio is 1. And the whole line is 4. So 4 minus 1 is 3. And also you have the whole line punya vector. So that means later you can find the BF vector and the FD vector. For the BF vector, just take 1 over 4 darab dengan ni lah. And then FD vector, just take 3 over 4 darab dengan ni. Okay. And one more thing I realized, you can find the DC vector also. Just go here, here, here. Eh? But this one tak ada kan? Okay, but it's okay. Later kalau dia ada tanya, baru I try to think macam mana lah. Okay, sekarang let's see what they want. Soalan number 1 nak cari vector CD. Okay, ini senang mah. CD vector dekat mana? Sini, sini. Oh. So, I think you have to walk like that, like that. Yeah, because if you go like that, yang DE ni tak ada kan? But if you go like that, better. Like CB plus BD terus. Because you have the BD already. Yeah, so very easy. Just do CB plus BD. So C to B is negative 5x minus 4y. Kalau BC 5x plus 4y. Tapi kalau CB, dia akan jadi negative 5x minus 4y. Kena tukar tanda. And kalau dia ada dua term pun kena tukar tanda. And then plus with BD vector, okay, just ambil terus lah. Negative 20x plus 16y. Yang ni tak payah tukar tanda sebab dia punya arrow sudah ngam lah. The direction is already ngam already. And then now X dengan X boleh buat, Y dengan Y boleh buat. Negative 5 minus 20 is negative 25. And also you can straight away ignore the bracket. Sebab dia tambah. Dia bukan tolak, dia tambah. So you can just straight away remove the bracket and then just tambah terus. Okay, negative 4y plus 16y, that's going to be 12y. So that's the answer lah. Okay, let's do question 2. Dia nak cari vector C to F. Okay, mana CF? C is here, F is here. So I will jalan CB plus BF lah. Kalau nak jalan CD, DF pun boleh. Sebab CD tadi sudah cari. And then DF, you can use the ratio to find it. Because you have the whole line vector and also you have the ratio. Okay, but I think I will just do CB BF. I think it's easier. Okay, what is CB? Negative 5x minus 4y. Okay. Negative 5x minus 4y. And then what is BF? Okay, BF vector tak ada, tapi you ada dia punya ratio, and also you have the whole vector, the whole line. Right? So I know BF is 1 over, okay, 3 plus 1 is 4. So BF is 1 over 4 times with BD. Okay, times with BD. Okay. Okay, if you do it another way, if you do CD plus DF can also, but for the DF, you have to do 3 over 4 times DB. Ya, kalau nak buat jalan sini, you kena buat DF, cari DF, and DF dia akan jadi 3 over 4 DB. DB, because it's going up. But this one is going down, because you're finding BF, kan? So, if it's going down, then BD lah. Okay, so dia akan jadi apa? Negative 5x minus 4y plus with 1 over 4 vector BD. Okay, the BD vector is given negative 20x plus 16y. So tak ada masalah. Okay, sekarang kena bahagi 4 dulu lah. Lepas bahagi 4 baru kita tambah. Okay, don't have enough space, so I'll just continue here. So dia akan jadi equal negative 5x minus 4y equals plus. Okay, negative 20 darab 1 over 4 means negative 20 bahagi 4. So negative 5 lah. So the plus will change to minus already. So jadi negative 5x. And then positive 16y bahagi 4 will be positive 4y. Okay, negative 5x minus 5x is negative 10x. And then negative 4y plus y, boleh potong. So tinggal ni je lah. Alright, so itulah jawapan dia. And this is vector CF punya jawapan. Okay. Alright, that is the answer. Now let's do B. Given that vector CF equals to KCE, and then find the value of K. Okay, maksudnya vector CF dengan vector CE tu parallel lah. Because when bila dua-dua vector ni boleh sama dengan means dia parallel. So let's double check. CF dekat sini. CE is the whole line. And dia kata dua-dua ni equal letak K. So means both vector parallel. And K will be the ratio. So dia akan jadi, so just masukkan vector CF and CE lah. Okay, CF I already have negative 10x. So masuk saja. Sama dengan K times vector CE. K times vector CE. So I need to put in CE here. And the CE vector I don't have now, but I can find it easily. Just go CB, BA, AE. Or you want to do CD plus DE also can. But I feel like it's better you go like that. Yeah, CB, BA, AE. Because you already have these three, right? So yeah, so dia akan jadi negative 5x minus 4y. Ya, kena tukar tanda sebab dia punya arrow going up. Now I'm trying to go down. Yeah, I'm going the opposite way. So it becomes CB tambah dengan BA, and I'm going the opposite way also. So kena tukar tanda minus 20x. And then the last one plus 4y lah. Okay. So I'll just write here plus 4y. Okay, sekarang kita boleh ambil K darat masuk and then lepas tu banding lah nanti. Okay, negative 10x equals to, okay, okay, the K don't darat first. X dengan X boleh buat kan? Negative 5 minus 20 is negative 25x. Negative 4y plus 4y, oh, sudah potong, hilang tadi. So just left with this. And now how to find K? Okay, take the K darat masuk, dia jadi negative 25kx. And then you compare lah. You compare. So they both have x, so you can just take the coefficient of x and the coefficient of x and then you bunding. So dia akan jadi negative 25k equals to negative 10, and then k is equals to negative 10 divide negative 25, and you get 205, positive 205, because negative divide negative become positive. Okay, 10 bagi 5 2, betul lah. Okay, that's it. Soalan suruh cari k, so sudah siap. Alright, let's do C. Okay, if the magnitude of x is 1 unit, this one is magnitude, and then the magnitude of y is 3 unit, and DAB is 90, find magnitude of BC. Okay, usually if they ask like that, means you have to do the Pythagoras theorem. Yeah, in vector question, when they give something like this, bagi dua punya magnitude, and then mention about 90, it means mesti kena guna Pythagoras theorem. So let's find out where's the 90 degree first. DAB. DAB. So this one lah. So the right angle triangle is this triangle right here. Okay, this one. Okay. And then they say magnitude of x is 1, magnitude of y is 3. Find magnitude of BC. Mana BC? Oh, BC is here. But the triangle is here. So I don't think you can use this right angle lah. Because they want to find magnitude of here, right? Okay, so I think I have to use this trapezium instead. Yeah, we have to use this trapezium. Because if you use this triangle, it's not going to help you find the BC. Okay, so I think you have to use this trapezium, and then you have to cut it here. Because when you cut it here, you get a right angle. Then this line becomes the hypotenuse already. Okay, so let me draw it out, the trapezium. It looks something like this. And then the BC is from here to here. Yeah, B to C. And then it goes down to EA like that. EA. Okay. Okay, let me make it smaller. Okay, to find the magnitude of BC, I will cut this line like this. So you have a 90 degree, and you need the panjang here and the panjang here. Then only you can do the Pythagoras theorem. Okay. Okay, the panjang here mesti sama dengan panjang bawah. And the bawah EA vector is 4y. Actually it's AE vector, right? So the AE is 4y. But since I'm trying to find the panjang, I will put the magnitude. I'm trying to find the magnitude. So how to find the magnitude of 4y? Okay, they already say magnitude of 1y is 3. So the 4 I can take it out, and then 4 times magnitude of y become 4 times 3. So you get 12. That means this is 12, and this is also 12. Okay. And then I also need the panjang here, right? But to find the panjang here, you need to take the whole line minus with the AB. And the AB vector is 20x. So let's find out the magnitude of AB vector. It means you are finding the magnitude of 20x. And they already said the x is, magnitude of 1x is 1 unit. So magnitude of 20x will be 20 times with 1 lah. So which is 20 lah. So that means this is 20. Betul lah? Betul lah, 20. And then here will be 20 also. But I want this. So do I have the whole line here? C to E. Oh, C to E just now I do already. Remember this CE? So the CE is this one. That means is after the this one lah. Yeah, because just now I find the CE, I get negative 25x from here. So your CE, the whole line is 25x. That means the magnitude of CE will be the magnitude of 25x. But since the magnitude of 1x is 1 unit, then 25x will be 25 times 1 lah. So it will be 25. And then now I can minus 25 minus 20, I get 5 here. Right? So now how to find magnitude of BC? Use Pythagoras theorem lah. Because this is a right angle triangle. And you're finding the hypotenuse. So be square root bracket square plus bracket square. And then 12 and 5. Okay, kenapa tambah? Sebab you are finding the longest side of the right angle triangle. Okay. Okay, tekan this, you get 169. And then just write units. Okay. No, no, silap, silap, silap. 169 belum square root lagi. Square root 169, 13. And then baru tulis units. So that is the magnitude of BC. Alright, that's how I would do it. Hope you understand. Okay, let's continue. Okay, number 7. What chapter is this? Circular measure. Yeah, so this is Form 5, Chapter 1. Okay, let's read. Diagram 4 shows a circle with center O and radius 7 cm. Oh, let's label the 7 cm. So that's the radius. So that means OA, that's the radius 7. OB also radius 7. But AB, that one that one is not radius. So that one you cannot write 7. That is the chord. This AB line, we call it chord. Okay, and then given that the perimeter of triangle AOB is 21. Oh, AOB perimeter is 21. That means sini tambah sini dapat 21. But you already have two of the side. 7, 7. So you can take 21 minus 7 and you get 7 also. So AB panjang sini 7 juga lah. It means this is an equilateral triangle lah. And tell me, what's so special about the equilateral triangle? If equilateral triangle, all three sides sama, maksudnya apa? Sudut sini, tiga-tiga sudut pun sama juga. And sudut ni dia akan jadi 60. Yeah, because the total angle for triangle is 180. So when you divide 3, you get 60, 60, 60 lah. And then soalan A, dia suruh cari sudut AOB in radians. So how to find AOB? Just convert the 60 degree to radian lah. So angle AOB, 60 degrees, but you want to convert to radian. So darab pi over 180. And the pi, they say use 3.142. So you just follow lah. And then when you darab, you will get the answer 1.047 radian. Okay, sudah siap. Soalan B, perimeter of minor segment AB. Okay, perimeter of minor segment. Segment in bahasa Melayu is tembiring. Tembiring. And where is the segment? Okay, segment mesti consists of two lines. Okay, the arc and the chord. So they already said minor arc AB. So the minor arc AB is here. So the chord will be this line. So you are finding the perimeter, not area, the perimeter. So what you have to do? You have to cari the arc AB and then tambah 7 lah. Because the chord AB sudah tahu 7. So I'll just write here 7, which is the chord AB, tambah with the arc AB. And for the arc, you just use the formula S equals R theta. The radius is 7, and then the theta in radian is 1.047. Yeah, because the arc is here. So the angle you take will be this angle. Okay. Alright. So tekan ini semua, you dapat lah jawapan. So the answer is 14.33. 7 plus, okay, 7 times 1.047. 7.329 here. So that's the arc. And then tambah is 14.33 lah. If you write in 4 significant figure, that's the answer. Okay. 329. Okay, now we are done. So now we can continue. Okay, soalan C, area of shaded region. Shaded region is here and here, right? Okay, instead of taking area of sector plus area of segment, there is a faster way to do it. Of course, you can also do like area of sector, but you have to find out the angle here and then find area of segment, which is very slow lah. But there's a faster way to do it. Just take the area of whole circle minus the area of triangle. It's much more easy to do it like that. And also for the triangle, you already have enough information to find the area. You will use the 1/2 AB sin C formula because you have the two sides and the included angle. So just do that, right? Okay, how to find area of full circle? It will be pi r square. That's how you find area of full circle, pi r square. So the r is 7. And then minus with the triangle. Okay, for the triangle, I will use 1 over 2 AB sine C. Okay, if it's a 90 degree, then I will use the 1 over 2 times base times height formula. But dia tak ada 90 degree. That's why I think it's better I do this AB sine C formula. And the A and B will be the two sides, but all three sides are same length anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then the angle in between, actually all the angles are 60, right? So it doesn't matter. Yeah, just do 1 over 2 times 7 times sine 60. Okay. Okay, now you get 49 times 3.142, and that's, let me press. Okay, 153.958. Okay, and then this one you press the whole thing and you get 21.22, and then just tekan 153.958 minus answer. So it will be 132.74 cm square. Yep, that's all. Itulah jawapan dia. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now we are at bahagian B. So they want us to jawab 3 soalan, but they will give you 4 questions. Okay, but in this video I'll jawab all 4. I will jawab all 4 in the bahagian B. So let's start. Number 8. First of all, what chapter? Area coordinate equation. Confirm Form 4 chapter. Coordinate geometry is chapter 7. Yeah. So this is Form 4 chapter 7. Okay, let's read. The diagram 5 shows a trapezium STUV. Okay. Trapezium dia mesti ada dua line yang parallel, and you can use your eyes pun you boleh tahu dah which line parallel. It will be ST and the UV line. You see, they won't put the arrow there. That means confirm these two lines parallel. And what happens when two lines are parallel? That means they both have the same gradient. And you can find the gradient now. Okay, just take 8 minus 0 over 2 minus 6. So 8 minus 0 is 8. Divide with 2 minus 6, negative 4. So the gradient is negative 2. And guess what? The gradient here is negative 2 also, because they are parallel. Okay. And they also mention it here, ST parallel to UV. Yeah, so they both have the same gradient. And point S lies on the x-axis. So yeah, I can see it is on the x-axis. And they also give you the coordinate already, 6, 0. So this is the x-intercept. Okay, and then given the equation UT is parallel with x-axis. So tell me, if UT is parallel to x-axis, that means they the gradient will be 0 lah. Because when you are horizontal line, kalau horizontal line dia tak ada gradient. Dia punya gradient kosong kalau horizontal line. So that means the point U punya y coordinate will be same with the point T y coordinate. Yeah, because it's completely horizontal mah. So point T kalau you baca bawah sini 2, sini 8. Right, 2, 8. And then point U will be what? I don't know the x coordinate, but I know the y coordinate will be 8. Yeah, because this is completely horizontal line. Yeah, kalau dia parallel with x-axis, that means dia mesti 90 degree sini. So this is the y coordinate will be 8 also. Okay, apa lagi? Equation for line UV is this. Okay, mana UV? Sini. Okay, inilah UV. And they give you the equation. So kalau dia bagi equation, usually what you will do, you will tukar jadi linear form, tukar jadi y equal mx plus c. Because when you tukar jadi linear form, you boleh baca dia punya gradient and the y-intercept. So yang ni pindah sana, yang ni pindah sana, jadi y sama dengan negative 2x minus 8. So your gradient is negative 2, and you can see it's same with what I write here, right? Yeah lah. Because these two lines, they're parallel mah, so they must have the same gradient. And then negative 8 is the y-intercept. Tapi you jangan pergi tulis sini negative 8. Salah. Itu x-intercept. The y-intercept of this line, you kena panjangkan. Yeah, you kena panjangkan baru nampak. So the y-intercept is here. Ini baru negative 8. But I don't think you have to do that, because dia punya diagram pun tak lukis sampai sana, so kita tak payah. Yeah, it means we probably won't use that for the working later. Okay. Yeah. Alright. So soalan A, find the equation of SV. Alright. Let's go and look for the SV line. Mana SV? Sini. Alright. How to find the equation of this line? Okay. It's a second line. You can clearly see it's a second line. And when it's second line means dia punya equation mesti akan jadi y equal mx plus c. Dia akan ada y ada x. Kalau dia sengit. Kalau dia sengit punya line. And the way to find the equation is you need to use this formula, y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. Yeah, we always use this formula when you are finding the equation of line, of straight line. Okay, kalau nak guna formula ni, kena ada dua info dulu. Kena ada gradient and kena ada point yang passes through. Kena ada dua-dua benda ni. Okay, obviously I see that ada satu point yang passes through 60. So 60 ni nanti boleh guna dalam x1, nanti boleh masuk dalam x1, y1. Tapi gradient untuk line ni tak ada. But I see something here. There's a box here, and this box means what? 90 degree. So 90 degree means perpendicular lah. So kalau dua line ni 90 degree means these two lines perpendicular lah. And when it's perpendicular means what? It means the gradient bila darab dapat -1. So since these two lines are perpendicular, that means the gradient of UV multiplied with gradient SV will be -1. Because when two lines are perpendicular 90 degree, the M1 times M2 equals -1. And then the gradient UV tadi sudah tahu -2 darab dengan gradient SV sama dengan -1. So the gradient SV will be positive 1/2 lah. So the M here is 1/2. And sudah ada gradient. Sekarang point yang passes through pun dah ada. So bolehlah guna formula ni. Right? So dia akan jadi Y minus Y equals to gradient X minus X. Gradient masuk 1/2. And then for the 60 you kena ganti masuk. Okay, 6 is the X. 6 is the X. So kena tulis dekat X tapi kena tukar tanda. And then 0 is the Y. So yang tu tulis dekat Y lah. Tapi kena tukar tanda. Kenapa kena tukar tanda? Sebab memang formula dia macam ni. Dia memang Y tolak Y, X tolak X. That's why kena tukar tanda. Okay, Y tolak kosong is Y lah. And then 1/2 darab X is 1/2 X. And then 1/2 darab -6 is -3. So inilah jawapan dia. Okay, I think I'll label it here also. Y equals 1/2 X minus 3. Okay, with that being said, let's do the next question, B1. Okay. Okay. B1. Find the coordinates of V and U. Oh, mana V? Sini. Mana U? Sini. Let's find point U first because it's easy. Yeah, I can already see how to find point U. Okay, how to find point U? Just take the 8 ganti dalam Y sini lah. Ya, sebab dia ada passes through point U, dia memang ada passes through garisan ni. And you have the equation, right? So you just ganti masuk, then you can get the X tadi. So let's do that when Y sama dengan 8. Tapi you kena ganti equation yang ni ya. You jangan silap ganti equation lain pula. Dia kena ganti yang ada passes through. So this point dia passes through this line. So ganti dalam equation ni. So it becomes 8 equals to -2x minus 8. And then cari X. -2 pindah sini jadi positive 2. 8 pindah jadi minus. So -8 minus 8 -16. Bagi 2 -8. So your point U is -8, 8. So that is the point U. Now, how to find point V? Let's see. Alright. Point V punya X coordinate tak ada. Y coordinate pun tak ada. Dua-dua pun tak ada. Okay. Because kalau you ada X coordinate, then maybe you can sub inside to find the Y coordinate. Ataupun kalau you ada Y coordinate sahaja, you boleh ganti juga to cari X. Tapi dua-dua pun tak ada kan. So ini susah lah. So macam mana? Alright. You realize or not, V is actually the intersection point of this line and this line. Dalam bahasa Melayu dia adalah titip silangan dua garisan ni. So kalau dia titip silangan, so kalau ada dua line and kalau you nak cari dia punya titip silangan, dia punya intersection point, you can take the both the equation and then you do simultaneous. Okay. So point V is actually the intersection point of these two lines and you have both the equation already. So what you will do? You do simultaneous lah. Okay. Okay, you can see both the equation dia punya Y sudah single. Y equals kan. So I will use the penggantian punya cara, substitution method. I will straight away do Y equals Y because dia punya Y sudah single. And then the Y on the left side I will write this one 1/2x minus 3 and then on the other side I write the other Y lah. -2x minus 8. And then now I can cari X and then that will be the X coordinate for V lah. And then ganti balik to find Y. Okay, X dengan X boleh buat -2 pindah jadi +2. 1/2 plus 2 is 5/2x. -3 hantar jadi +3. -8 plus 3 is -5. And then 2 duduk bawah means bahagi. Bahagi hantar jadi darab. -5 times 2 is -10. And then divide 5 -2. And then ganti masuk. Okay, you nak ganti equation. Dua-dua equation pun boleh. You want to sub this one also can. This one also can. Because both also got passes through V. So both also can. Let's ganti yang ni lah. So Y sama dengan 1/2x minus 3. This one is -2. The 2 and 2 can cut. So it become -1 minus 3 is -4. So that is your point V. -2, -4. And I will label here also. Okay. Sudah siap. Sekarang kita boleh buat number 2. Hence find the area of trapezium STUV. Okay. Please don't tell me like what 1/2 A plus B times C, because I remember I teach this recently in my own to my own student, and ada satu student dia answer saya macam ni. Saya tanya dia, and she said, use the area of trapezium A plus B times C. Okay, for this you shouldn't do like that because you don't have the panjang. Okay, takkanlah you nak buat distance formula 3 kali, cari distance sini, cari distance sini, cari it's too slow. It's too slow. Okay, for coordinate geometry. If you have all the coordinate of the vertex, you should not do this. You should use the coordinate union formula, which is 1/2 modulus, and then you just put in all the coordinate of the vertex. Ya, semua bucu-bucu coordinate tu you masuk je. Alright, dia nak STUV kan? So you can write the S coordinate 60 and you kena tulis atas bawah macam ni ya, followed by T which is 28 and then U which is -88 and then last one is -2, -4 and before you tutup modulus repeat the first coordinate 60. Okay? This is one of the formula you learn in this chapter, right? Okay, so sekarang kita start darab lah. Alright, bila kita darab dia mesti start dari atas and dia kena darab silang. So start dari atas darab silang means macam ni. 6 times 8, 48. And then tulis siap-siap plus. Yang plus ni kena tulis siap-siap. Okay. And then 2 times 8, 16. And then plus tulis siap-siap. -8 times -4, positive 32. So dia akan jadi plus 32 lah. So plus 32. And then plus -2 times 0 will be 0. Okay, 0 tak payah tulis. So now you write minus. Kenapa tulis minus? Sebab you change direction. Yeah, because surah habis, so you have to go back now, tukar, change the direction. So when you change direction, dia jadi minus. 0 times 2 will be 0, 0 tak payah tulis. 8 times -8 is -64. Tapi you sudah tulis negative siap-siap sini, so there's another negative. So macam ni. Sebab tu lah I ask you to write the negative siap-siap. Kalau tak, you will get confused. And then minus, tulis siap-siap. And then 8 times -2, -16. So bracket -16. And then minus again, -4 times 6 is -34. Okay, sekarang kita boleh tekan calculator. Alright, 48 plus 16 plus 32 plus 64 plus 16 plus 24. Okay, I get 200. So now we have to modulus the 200, which is 200, and then divide 2 is 100. So this is area, so I have to write unit square. Okay, so itulah jawapan dia. Okay. Alright, let me double check. Find the area. Okay lah, betul lah. Alright, that's the answer. Okay, nombor 9. Okay, what chapter is this? Differentiation. Minimize rate of change. Okay, from 5 chapter 2. The rate of change. Okay, let's do this. Read the question first. A company wants to build an open top cylinder tank. Okay, so let me draw out the open top cylinder. So number 9. So it's a cylinder and it's open top. That means dia ada lubang dekat sini. There's a hole here. Open top. With a volume of 1000 meter cube. Alright, so the volume is given. It's 1000 meter cube. And tell me, what is the formula for volume cylinder? Pi r square h. Okay, pi r square h. Okay, apa lagi? The radius is r meter and the height is h meter. Okay, very helpful. Okay, radius is r meter. That means the sini ke sini jari r lah. And then tinggi sini h lah. Okay. And then number 1, belum lagi. Ada lagi sini. Given that the cost to build the base is 5 ringgit per meter square. What's the meaning? Oh, it means the base here, the cost is 5 ringgit per meter square. Okay. So I'll just use red color and then just buat macam ni and then buat macam ni. RM 5 ringgit per meter square. So I'm sure later you have to find the area of the circle lah. Yeah, because you need to know the area of circle, then baru boleh darab 5, get the cost. Betul kan? Because it's every meter square, you pay 5 ringgit. So if you find the total area of this space, then times 5, you get the total RM. Okay, apa lagi? The cylinder wall is 2 ringgit per meter square. Oh, cylinder wall lah. Okay, let me use another color this time. Blue color. So the blue color, oh my god, why so big? Okay, so the cylinder wall is this one. And this one, the cost is 2 ringgit per meter square. And let me tell you, when you open up the cylinder, it will look like this. So the cylinder wall is in the shape of a rectangle. So later, if you want to find the cost for the wall, you have to find the area of rectangle. And then after you get in meter square, baru darab dengan 2. Get the RM to get the cost for the wall. Okay, but that one all we can do later. Sekarang kita baca soalan dulu. Sudah siap. Oh, dia punya soalan stop sini. And then now A says express the cost to build the tank. C in terms of R and pi. Okay, C represents the cost. And they want in terms of R and pi. So what you do? You write down C equals and then you start to write the cost lah. Okay, I told you just now. To find the cos, you first need to find the area of circle first. Find the area of circle, then times 5. Okay, the area of circle formula is pi r square. Okay, and the r you don't have to sub with anything because the soalan already say in terms of r and pi. So the r and pi you will just leave it as r and pi macam tu, tak payah ganti apa-apa pun. Okay, memang soalan dia nak jawapan you ada r dengan pi. Okay, alright, so it's just pi r square lah. Tapi kena darab 5 lah. Sebab you nak dapat cos kan. Okay, so you get 5 pi r square. Tapi belum siap, tambah lagi dengan the cylinder wall. Yeah, the cylinder wall. But I told you right how to find the area. You have to find the area of rectangle, right? So when you open it up, it will be like this. Okay, so kita cari area of rectangle kena ambil apa? Panjang sini darab panjang sini. Okay, panjang sini dia akan jadi 2 pi r. Yeah, the length here will be 2 pi r. Because this, when you roll it up, it will be same with the panjang lilitan sini. So that is why the panjang will be 2 pi r. Okay. And then darab dengan tinggi h lah. But after that, kena darab lagi dengan 2. Yeah, because it's 2 ringgit per meter square. So after you find the area in meter square, you have to times 2. So that you get the RM lah. Okay, so when you darab, you get 4 pi RH. But do you remember they said in terms of R and pi? That means this is not the answer. Because if you look at it, it's in terms of pi and R and H. So siapa kacau sekarang? H kacau. So I have to write, yang ni sudah okay. Tapi yang H ni kita kena, dia tak boleh ada H. Jawapan tak boleh ada H. So I think I have to find another equation which is H in terms of R. So that I can sub inside. Okay. So I repeat one more time. You have to find another equation which is H in terms of R and pi. So you can sub inside. But how to find it? You can use the volume. You can use the volume to find it. Okay, you can use the volume to find it. So to find the volume, I told you just now the formula for volume cylinder is pi r square h, right? Equals 1000, and you tak mau h sekarang. So cari h lah. So 1000 over pi r square. And this one you have to sub inside. And then when you sub inside, then your answer don't have h already lah. 1000 over pi r square like that. Okay. Okay, this one can cut. Pi dengan pi can cut. R and the r square. So the r square left with satu r saja lah. So the answer is 5 pi r square plus with 4 times 1000 is 4000. And then over tinggal r saja sini. So that's the answer. Okay, this one is cos, right? So I think it's better I write the RM like that. RM bracket macam ni. Okay, itu jawapan dia. Soalan B. Find the radius and height. Okay, so nak cari R. And then height means cari H. That minimize the construction cost. And then hence find the minimum construction cost. Okay, the keyword here is definitely minimum, minimize. Okay? So when you are finding the minimum value, you will always do d by dx equals 0. Okay, d by dx equals 0. But for this, you don't do d by dx because dia punya equation tak ada yx pun. Okay, so you should, okay, dia cakap minimum apa? Minimum cost, right? Minimize the construction cost. So you should differentiate the cost equation lah. So later you will do this, you will differentiate this equation lah. This is the equation for cost, right? So you differentiate this equals to 0. And when you differentiate this, dia akan jadi dc dr. So later you will do dc dr equals 0. And then you cari r and h. But then they said hence find the minimum cost. So c pun kena cari lah. Means kena cari 3 benda. Cari r, cari h, cari c. Okay. Okay, first let's differentiate equals 0 first. Because when you differentiate equals 0, you will get the r. And then after you get the r, you ganti into this equation, then you get h lah. And then for the c, you ganti yang ini. To find C. Alright. Can I move this up a bit? Okay, good. Alright, now I have space to do the B. Alright, now I will do dc dr equals 0. Okay, dc dr equals 0. Okay, when you dc dr means you have to differentiate this equation. But wait. You cannot differentiate kalau ada r dekat bawah kan? Okay, so now let's move it up first. So C equals to 5 pi r square tambah 4000 r power minus 1. Okay, now only I do the dc dr equals 0. Okay, the 0 I just write it here first and then differentiate. Okay, when you differentiate, you have to take the power, darab depan, and then power minus 1. So 2 times 5 is 10 pi. And then negative 1 times 4000 is negative 4000. Power minus 1 is r power negative 2. And then yang ni boleh letak bawah. Okay, wait. Okay, let me write it like more to the left here. Okay, 10 pi r minus 4000 r power negative 2 equals 0. Okay, yang ini power negative 2, you can letak bawah, dia akan jadi power positive. So become negative 4000 over R square equals 0. And I'm trying to find R now. So kalau saya akan pindah ni jadi positif dulu. So 10 pi R equals, okay, negative pindah jadi positif 4000 over R square. And then kalau nak hilangkan fraction, ini darab atas sajalah. So dia akan jadi 10 pi R kuasa 3 sama dengan 4000. And then, okay, I need space. Okay, after you reach here, how you find the R? Okay, continue here. So R cube equals to, okay, now I will press 4000 divide 10 divide pi. Because you pindah jadi bahagi. So dia akan jadi R cube sama dengan, okay, I tekan ni lah. Okay, the pi, I think I'll just use 3.142. Yeah, actually the soalan got mentioned mah. Here they say use pi 3.142. So we follow lah. Okay, 4000 divide 10 is 400. And then bahagi 3.142. Okay, my calculator give me 127.31. Okay. Okay, tapi belakang ada lagi banyak number lah. Tapi you write two decimal place is enough already. So 127.31. And now I will use the answer button. I will press cube root answer. So your cube root answer will be cube root answer 5.031. Okay, if you write in four significant figure, it's 5.031 and it's in meter. Yeah, it's in meter because it's radius, right? And everything is in meter here. Yeah, so that's the R answer. But they also ask you to find H and C. So how to find H? Ganti this one lah. Remember, that's the equation to find H. So H equals to what? 1000 divide with pi R square. Okay. Okay, the R ganti ni lah. Okay, you kena tekan bawah dulu. You have to tekan 5.031 square darab dengan pi dulu. And then baru tekan 1000 divide answer. So this one you will get 12.57 cm. Okay. Okay, lastly, the last thing to find is the C. So the C, I will ganti yang ni lah. So it becomes 5 pi R, which is 5.031 square, tambah dengan 4000 over R, and the R is 5.031. Okay. Okay, sekarang saya akan tekan 5 times 3.142 and then times 5.031 square and then plus 4000 divide 5.031. Okay, my calculator give me, wait, 5 times 3.142 times 5.031 square and then plus with 4000 divide 5.031. Okay, 1192.71. But this one is RM. C, because C is cost, right? So you have to write RM. And kalau RM dia mesti 2 decimal place. Yeah, so 1192.70. But the next digit is 5. Yeah, it's 705. So 71. So 1192.71. Okay, but this one you don't write meter. This one is RM. Because C mah. Okay. So that's the answer lah. Ini. Okay, dia suruh cari RHC kan. So itulah jawapan dia. Okay, now we are done. Let's do C. Okay, after the tank is built, okay, so after it's built, the tank starts being filled with water at the rate. Okay, when you see this word rate, automatic, it has to register in your mind already. This is a rate of change question. And when you're doing rate of change question, rate dia mesti over dt. Dia mesti over dt. So if I say rate 20, that means over dt equals 20. But the atas kena tulis apa? Okay, that one you can look at the unit. So you can see it's 20 meter cube per minute. That means this 20 is meter cube per minute. So yang bawah dt and the t is the minute. And then atas is m cube. So that's the volume lah. Because when you find volume, okay, you will only have meter cube when it's volume, right? So the dv dt is 20. That's what it means. Okay, next one. Find the rate of change of water height in the tank. That means nak cari over dt also lah, because got rate mah. But this one is rate of height. And just now they already said use h to represent height. So dh dt, this one nak cari lah. So this one I put question mark. This is the final answer. And then comma lagi, when the height of water reaches 8 meters. So the h is 8. Okay. Okay, so these are all the information. Okay, when we do rate of change question, how I usually teach is, I will always tell my students, you have to leave an empty space here. And then you have to draw this line equals to line darab line. And then sini dengan sini bawah mesti sama. Mesti dt. It will forever be the dt. And then yang ini dengan yang ni kena sama, yang ini dengan yang ni kena sama. Okay. Tapi persoalannya you nak letak apa dekat sini? Alright. Look at your information. Yang ni dv/dt, yang ini dh/dt. So dt sudah kena panggil. Sudah masuk already. dt memang sudah, okay, dia sudah kena panggil, dia sudah duduk diam-diam dekat sini. So tinggal dv dengan dh je yang you kena masuk. So yang ni nak tulis dv or dh? Okay, mestilah dv. Okay, mesti dv. You know why? Because if you write dh here, okay, it has to be dv because your equation dia adalah v equals, bukan h equals. That's why. That's why you have to write dv here. Because later you can see your equation is like v stands for volume. Okay, so h is the height. So dia mesti dv and then dh. Okay, sebenarnya kalau ni nak tulis dh dv boleh juga. Tapi nanti you kena terbalikkan dia punya jawapan lah. Tapi sama sajalah. Same. Okay, dv/dt is 20, so masuk saja. dv/dh nanti I can find it, but dh/dt that's the final answer, right? Yeah, because dh/dt that's what the soalan want you to find at the end. So I think I have to cari sendiri saya punya dv/dh. Tapi kalau nak cari dv/dh, kita kena ada dulu equation v in terms of h. Yeah, we need to have the equation v in terms of h. In order to find dv/dh, we need v in terms of h. Okay, I don't have the. Do I have the equation v in terms of h? Okay, I know the v for cylinder is pi r square h, right? Pi r square h. But I only want v in terms of h only. So the r has to. I have to get rid of the r. Okay. So let me think. How should I do this? Okay, dia ada bagi H8 sini. Tapi H8 ni you jangan ganti ya. You jangan ganti. This H8 you know what is it for? Ini untuk you ganti after you differentiate. Yang H8 ni is like lepas you differentiate baru you ganti. Bukan ganti sekarang. You jangan ganti sekarang. So what I should do now is the R. I have to. Okay, kalau you baca soalan dia kata after the tank is built. So we can assume that it's built with the R from B lah. Because the B asks you to find the radius and height that minimize the cost. So orang tu dia nak build tank dia, tapi dia nak minimize dia nak minimum cost. And when the cost minimum tadi you punya R is 5.031, right? And then now the C continues from that question. So we can assume that the radius of the cylinder will be the minimum radius here lah, 5.031. So yeah, I can masuk 5.031 here. Okay, but the H jangan ganti because later you have to find dv/dh. Okay, yeah. So I want to mention one thing also. When you differentiate, the right side can only have one unknown. Kalau you punya right side ada dua unknown, you tak boleh differentiate. Ya, dia kena satu unknown je dekat right hand side. Okay, and it has to be H because you are trying to find dv/dh, not dv/dr, right? So that's why it's like that. So sekarang kita boleh tulis V sama dengan, okay, 5.031 square, that one I can press. And then darab dengan pi. So 5.0 times 3.142. Okay, I got 7. Okay, actually dia bagi banyak decimal place lah. So I just write 4 significant figure. So 79.53. Okay, and then H. Okay, now I find the dv/dh. Okay, when you differentiate this, you punya H power 1. That means when you differentiate, you will just end up with the number 79.53. Okay, but sir, what about the 8? Okay, the 8, I told you just now, right? You're supposed to ganti after you differentiate. But after you differentiate, the H disappear already. Because your dv/dh answer tak ada H dah. That means the H8 tak jadi tak guna dah. Kalau lepas you differentiate ada H baru you ganti dengan ni lah. Tapi kalau tak ada tu tak payah dah. Tak payah lah ganti. So the 79.53 can straight away right here already. And then now you can find the dh/dt. Just tekan 20 bahagi answer. Okay, I'll use the answer button. 20 bahagi answer. So I get 0.2515. That's the answer in 4 significant figure, 0.2515. And let's write the unit nicely. So the dh/dt answer. Okay, I remember the unit for height is in meters. So meter, and then the time they use minute just now, right? So it will be per minute. So minute minus 1 lah. Macam tu. Okay. Alright. So this is how I would do it. Okay, that's all for this. Okay, number 10A. What chapter is this? Trigonometry, Form 5, Chapter 6. The Trigo chapter. Okay, for the A, I will do it up here. So it's a proving question. Okay, in this chapter, there's 4 types of question that you need to know how to do lah. So ada 4 jenis soalan yang boleh keluar dalam exam untuk chapter ni. The first type is they will ask you to find something theta, like sine theta or cos theta, tangent theta. That one you have to draw. You have to locate the cross. And then the second type of question is when they ask for theta, which is the B question. You see, solve. So this one you have to, this is the second type of question. For this, you have to memorize the special case. You have to check whether it's normal case or special case. And then for special case, the one you have to hafal all that lah. And then the third type of question is the graph sketching punya soalan, which is this one. And then the final type is the proving question. Okay, this one is a proof question, so I will start to prove here. Okay, I'll write the soalan first. Cot x minus tangent x equals to 2 over tangent 2x. Okay, for proving question, we always need to decide which side we want to start first. So we can either start from the left hand side or the right hand side. Okay, but for me, I will always start with the more complicated side. And for this, I will start from right hand side. Why I start from the right hand side? Because I see this, I immediately think about the double angle formula. Okay, if I start from the left hand side, uh, nothing much I can do because the cot x, you cannot use basic identity because they're the square, and you cannot use double angle because there's no 2x here. So the only thing you can change is the cot, you can change to 1 over tangent lah, or you can change to cos over sine. Okay, and same with the tangent x here also, you cannot use basic identity because the square, and you cannot use double angle because the 2x. The only thing you can change is like you changing to sine over cos only. But if I start from the right hand side, it will be better because tangent 2x memang boleh guna double angle. So I will start from the right hand side. So the right hand side, 2 over tangent 2x. And then now I will start to change until it reach here lah. Okay, so 2 bahagi, the tangent 2x formula is 2 tangent x over 1 minus tangent square x. This is the double angle formula. Okay, the formula is given in the exam. Yeah, so you can refer the formula page if you want. Okay, after you do this, now dua bahagi fraction means dua darab dengan this one terbalik lah. So 1 minus tangent square x over 2 tangent x. Okay, I'll try not to skip any line here. Okay, the 2 and 2 can cut. Okay, the 2 and 2 can cut because yang ni darab mah. So something darab something over something, the 2 can cut lah. So you left with 1 minus tangent square x over tangent x. But I'm trying to get this, cot x minus tangent x. So how? Okay, as you can see now it's like a single fraction. But I'm trying to get two separate terms like this. So I will separate it into two terms lah. How to separate? Okay, you punya bawah ada satu term. So how to separate? So you punya bawah ada satu term. So you separate, dia jadi macam ni lah. So dia akan jadi 1 over tangent x minus tangent square x over tangent x. And 1 over tangent is actually cot. And then tangent square divide tangent, you just left with tangent. Because tangent square means bracket tangent x and then bracket tangent x again. And then when you over tangent x, you cut, you left with satu tangent x macam ni. Okay. Macam tu. Okay, but I will erase this. Okay, so sudah sama kan? Yang ni sudah sama dengan sini. So this is the left hand side. So we can write proven. Okay, okay, that's all. Okay, B. Hence solve the equation cot x minus tangent x equals 3 for x between 0 and 360. So cot x minus tangent x equals to 3. Okay, the answer they want is in between 0 and 360. Okay, boleh, tak ada masalah. Alright, so this one you have to find x lah. Okay, so how to find? Okay, you realize or not, the cot x minus tangent x dia sama dengan sini. That means I can change this whole thing to 2 over tangent 2x. Okay, so I can straight away write 2 over tangent 2x equals to 3. And I recommend you to change it also, because after you change it, it becomes easy already to find x. Because, yeah, you just pindah lah. Okay, how to find x? Okay, first I will naik ataskan tangent 2x ni. So bahagi hantar atas jadi darab, and then the 3 hantar bawah jadi bahagi like that. So your tangent 2x is 2 over 3. And now you have to ask yourself whether it's a normal case or special case. If it's normal case, you need to find the reference angle and then check the quadrant. Okay, but if it's a special case, then you just straight away have to, because special case, that one you cannot use calculator. That one you have to memorize and write down the answer straight away. And there are other 7 special case yang you kena hafal. Okay, when will it be special case? When your sine or cos angle is equals to 0, 1 or -1, ataupun your tangent answer is 0, then only is special case. But this one is normal case lah. So for normal case, you can get the reference angle. But before that, let's write down the quadrant. Which quadrant first? So you have add sugar to coffee, and then your tangent answer comes out is positive. So it will be the first quadrant and the third quadrant. So later you have to change to the quadrant lah. But now let's get the reference angle first. And how to get it? Just tekan shift tangent 2/3. And if you have negative here, you cannot tekan the negative. Okay, yeah, you cannot tekan kalau ada negative. Okay, what is shift tangent 2/3? Okay, I always write in degree minute, so you get 33 degree, 41 minute. If you want to write in decimal, can also. Up to you. Okay, after you get your RA reference angle, now you can get the values for 2x. Okay, but you have to find out the angle in the third quadrant also. Okay, the first quadrant will be this one lah, 33 degree 41. And to get the angle in quadrant 3, you have to take 180 plus. Yeah, because you learned before, if you want to convert from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2, 180 minus. 1 to 3, 180 plus. 1 to 4, 360 minus. Ini kena tahu lah. So 1 to 3, 180 plus, so you get what? 213 degree, 41 minute. Okay, so these are the answers. Tapi dia 2x. So kalau dia 2x means what? It means you have to take all your answer tambah 360. Because 2x means 2 pusingan. So you have to find out the answer in the second pusingan. So you have to take all your answer tambah 360 tambah 360. So what is 33 plus 360? 393 degree 41. And then what is 213 plus 360? 573 degree 41. Okay. And then now only you take everything divide 2. And when you divide 2, all the answers will be between 0 and 360. So this one is 16 degree 51 minute. And then this is 106 degree 51 minute. This is 196 degree 51 minute. And then this one is 286 degree 51 minute. And I repeat one more time, you can write in decimal if you want. Okay, yeah, up to you. Okay, so that is the answer for B. Okay, sudah siap? Okay, now it's time to do the C. Okay, sketch graph y equals -2 sine 3 over 2x plus 1 for 0 until 2 pi. Okay, this is a sketch punya soalan. Okay, kalau nak buat sketch, I always teach the same way. I will tell students to first thing you kena tahu dia punya bentuk dulu. So I recommend you conteng dulu. Conteng means you do like a rough sketching dulu because you need to know the shape first. Okay, and then after knowing the shape, if you feel confident enough to straight away draw, then you straight away draw lah. If you're confident enough, but if you're not confident enough, let's say you're not sure where's the 90 degree, where's the 180. If you're not sure, then you can do the working, which is you ganti this one 0, 1, -1 to get all the exact coordinates. Okay, but for this graph, kalau saya yang buat, I will recommend you to do the full working. It means after you do the conteng, you ganti this one 0, 1, -1 to find out the exact points. Because this graph will be quite difficult because it will be 3 over 2x means it's 1.5 sine graph. And then also later you got negative. That means the whole thing have to terbalik. And then plus 1, the whole graph have to move up 1 unit. So after you do all that, it's very hard to predict where will the coordinate end up already. Because once you do all this, yeah, it will become messy already lah. That's why I recommend you to find the points. Okay, let's find out what will the shape look like first. So the first thing yang kita kena tengok is this one, the sine 3 over 2x. Okay, 3 over 2 is 1.5. So what does it mean? It means you have to draw 1.5 sine graph. Okay, one sine graph look like this, but 1.5 will be like this lah, and this will be 2 pi. Okay, and then the next thing you couldn't tengok is the 2. Okay, the 2 here means the highest point will be 2, the lowest point is -2. Okay, and the next thing yang you kena tengok is negative. And this negative here means you have to terbalikkan the whole graph. Terbalik means the whole thing turn upside down. So what happens is yang ini dia jadi reflect, dia jadi macam ni lah. Becomes like this already. And you have to erase the black color one. You know why I have to erase? Because later have to plus 1. So if I don't erase, I takut nanti apa, it will be confusing lah. Alright, so this is what's left like. This is how it looks like now. Now the last thing is plus 1. Okay, plus 1 you can do like that. Just potong, 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 everything plus 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3, 0 plus 1 is 1, -2 plus 1 is -1. And when you plus 1, not only the maximum minimum value changes, the x-axis position also will change. Because you can see this is no longer 0. This is jadi 1. It means the x-axis now move down. The x-axis, instead of here, it will be like here. Okay. And then this one have to erase lah. Yeah lah, because the whole graph move up ma. So your x-axis will be down lah. Will go down. Okay. Alright. Now what I will do is I will find the coordinates supaya kita boleh tahu dia punya points dekat mana. Okay. Yeah, because why you should find the coordinate is because this point is no longer the potongan becomes weird already. Yeah. Because how you want to know this one berapa, right? Is it 90 or 180 or 270? It's hard to tell because you already plus 1. So now it's like everything and also the graph got compressed horizontally. 3 over 2x means the graph is compressed 1.5 times. Okay? So what I would recommend doing is you sub this 0, 1, -1, and then you find out all the points, then baru you sketch. So sekarang kita buat working tu when y equals, okay, if this whole thing I sub 0, then 0 times -2 will be 0, and then 0 plus 1 is 1. So when y equals 1, and then take the whole thing equals to 1, -2 sine 3 over 2x plus 1 equals to 1. And then try to find x from here. So your sine 3 over 2x, okay, pin out plus 1 jadi -1. 1 minus 1 is 0. And then the 0 have to divide with -2, which is 0 also. And then here you left with 3 over 2x. Okay, this one is special case because your sine answer equals 0. So for special case, you will not use calculator to do it. You have to have it in your head and memorize it. Okay, sine 0 punya jawapan will be, dia ada 3 jawapan. There's 3 answers, 0, 180 and 360. But sekarang dia adalah 1.5x. It means 1.5 pusingan. So kalau 1.5 pusingan, apa you kena buat? You have to anggap dia macam 2 pusingan. It means you have to take all your answer tambah 360. And then in the end, if the answer is more than 360, baru you reject. That's the way to do it. So anggap dia macam 2x. Anggap dia macam 2x. So take all your answer plus 360. Okay, 0 plus 360 is 360. 180 plus 360 is 540. 360 plus 360 is 720, like that. And then take all your answer, bahagi dengan 1.5. Ataupun bahagi 3 over 2 lah. Okay, bahagi 3 over 2 means times 2 over 3. So 0 times 2 over 3 is 0. 180 times 2 over 3, 120. And then 360 times 2 over 3, 240. 540 times 2 over 3, 360. 720 times 2 over 3, 480. But you can see this one sudah more than 360. So yang ni potong. Yang ni jangan ambil. Macam tu. Okay. Alright, next one. When y equals, okay, sekarang ganti 1 lah. So if this whole thing become 1, 1 times -2, -2, -2 plus 1, -1. So when y equals -1, and then when y equals -1 means the whole thing here equals -1. So -2 sine 3 over 2x equals to -1. So your sine 3 over 2x equals to -1 divide -2. Okay, I forgot something here. So it's actually plus 1 equals to -1. Yeah, ada plus 1 sini. Okay, -1 minus 1 is -2. And then -2 divided -2 is +1. So this is also special case because your sine answer is 1. So kalau sine 1, dia punya jawapan ada satu saja jawapan, which is 90 degrees. There's only one answers. But this is 3 over 2x. It means 1.5x. So you have to anggap dia macam 2 pusingan and you have to get the answer for the second pusingan. If the answer nanti end up more than 360, baru you reject. Okay, 90 kena tambah 360 lah. Because you have to angkat macam 2 pusingan. So it'll be 450. And then now you take 90 times 2 over 3. So you get 60. And then 450 times 2 over 3, you get 300. And as you can see, the is less than 360. So you kena ambil point ni lah. Okay, for the last one, when y equals berapa? Okay, this whole thing kena ganti dengan -1. So -1 times -2 is +2, and then +2 plus 1 is +3. That means the whole thing equals to 3. So -2 sine 3 over 2x plus 1 equals to 3. Okay, and it makes sense. Why? Kenapa yang ni? Kenapa dia 1, -1, 3? Sebab you tengok sini, paling atas is 3, and then 1, -1. That means you only have points at 3, 1, and -1. Sebab tu you punya working sini, that is why your working here is 1, -1, 3. Yeah, because tempat lain tak ada coordinate. There's no points in other level. There's only points here 3, 1, and -1. Okay, so sekarang kita boleh cari x dari sini. So sine 3 over 2x equals, okay, plus 1 jadi -1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 divided -2 is -1. And kalau you punya sine answer -1, this is also a special case. So yang ni kena hafal. Dia ada satu jawapan saja ini, 270 degrees. Okay. And after you write your answer, you have to check sini sebab dia sekarang 1.5x. So you kena anggap dia macam dua pusingan. So you have to take your answer tambah 360. So you will get 630 and then take both your answer times 203, you get 180. This one 630 times 203, you get 420. Okay, 420 is already more than 360. And the soalan asks you to draw until 360 only, so reject this answer. Okay. Okay, with all of this, now you can sketch the graph. And confirm when you sketch, mesti you will not get it wrong because you have all the coordinates and also you have the shape, right? So now you can draw it. Okay, so the y-axis duduk sini. And your x-axis, where you should draw it? Okay, you should draw middle but down a bit. Why down a bit? Because you punya highest, your y value, the highest value is 3. Okay, 3 and then 1 and -1. That means nanti atas kena guna sampai 3. So I can go 1, 2, 3 like that. And then for this, I'll just go -1. Like that. That's why I said the x-axis kena bawah sikit. Okay. Alright, sini kena potong 4 kali. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, in Addmaths, they usually use radian. So let's write in radian. 2 pi. This is pi, 180, and then 90 is pi over 2. This one is 3 pi over 2. Okay, now we will start to plot the points. Okay, when y equals 1, which is here, y equals 1, the x is 0. Okay, 0. 120, okay, 120 is actually 90 plus with 30. So what we can do is we can potong, because from here to here is 90, right? So what I can do is I can potong this into 3 equal parts. Okay, but it doesn't have to be accurate one lah. Just lebih kurang agak-agak saja. So it's like potong, just put 2 lines, split it into 3 equal parts. So that the one part here is 30 degree, 60, 90. And then here also 120, 150, 180. And then 210, 240, 270. And then 300, 330, 360. Now we can plot it. So when y equals 1, x equals 0, 120 is 90 plus 30. But you don't plot here. You plot at 1. Next one, 240 is 270 minus 30. But you have to plot at 1. Yeah, because when y equals 1. And then the last one is 360. Okay, the one here. Okay. Alright. Okay, I think this one have to bawah sikit. Okay, so make sure they are all at the same level lah. 1. Okay, sekarang kita plot the next one. When y equals -1, x is 60 and 300. Okay, -1 is here. Okay, dekat mana 60? 90 minus 30 is 60, so it's here lah. And then 300 is 270 plus 30, so it's here. And then when y equals 3, x is 180. When y equals 3 is here. 180 is pi, so it's here. Okay. Okay, now with all the correct points, now we can draw. And for the shape, you can refer this. Yeah, you can refer what you conteng first study kan. So it will look like a sine graph yang sudah terbalik. So the sine graph is like this lah. So I'll just draw the shape like this. And I purposely make it, how to say? The x-intercept, it cannot be 90 or here. Yeah, it has to be like at an awkward position. Yeah, it has to be like this. And then go up. Okay, let me draw nicely. Okay lah, good enough. Okay, and then when I go down also, I will purposely not make it touch here. Yeah, it has to be like that. And then go up and then like that. This is how it looks like. So the equation of curve have to write y equals to -2 sine 3 over 2x, total bracket plus 1. Okay. Okay, so the soalan asks to sketch. And sudah siap lah, ini jawapan dia. Okay, let's do question 2 now. So question 2 is here. There are one solution obtained if y equals to t is sketched on the same graph in 10C1 such that t is a constant state, the value of t. Okay, we have some information here. So they want us to draw this line y equals t, but they never give us the t, but they said there's a one solution. So the NOS is 1. And then ask you to find the value of t. Okay, we all know that this line will be a horizontal line because dia tak ada x. It's just y equals t, and t will be a number, right? So kalau dia y equals number, that means it's a horizontal line. Okay. It will only be a second line when the equation ada y ada x. Okay, so kalau dia y equals t means it's a horizontal line. Okay, but the horizontal line will not be here. It will not be here. Okay, because if it's here, then the NOS ada dua already. So where you should draw the horizontal line? Is it here? No, also they want the NOS to be one. So the only possible position here also cannot, because here you have two NOS. So the only way to make it one solution is to draw it up here. The horizontal line has to be here. Okay. Okay, but the solar line actually never ask you to draw. They ask you to find value of t, right? But I know that I need to draw it here, and the line has to be at y equals 3 lah. That's the only way to get one solution. If you want to draw horizontal line lah. So now you know the y has to be equals to 3 for it to have not one solution. That means the t is 3 lah. Because you can just compare banding dengan ni, then you know your answer already. T is equals to 3. And the solar line asks you to find t, so that is the answer. Okay, that's all. Okay, now I'm at question 11. Okay, what chapter is this? Linear law. Okay, so it's from 4 chapter 6. Yeah, linear law is chapter 6. Okay, let's read the question. Use graph paper to answer this question. Okay, I know that. Table 1 shows the value of blah blah blah. Ini semua tak penting, blah, all rubbish. I don't care, I don't care. The only thing important is the equation. Okay, yeah, every time you do linear law is the same thing. Okay, you always have to change the equation to linear form and then draw a table. Okay, that's always the first two steps. Okay, kenapa kena tukar jadi linear form? Sebab kalau tak nanti you tak boleh buat part C. Okay, so that's why you have to do that. Okay, do I have any space here? Okay, yes, I can use this space. Okay, what is the equation? R over D power negative R over D power negative square root X. Okay, let's change to linear form. So when we change to linear form, it means kita nak tukar jadi y equal mx plus c. But you have to make sure your y-axis from the equation match with the y-axis from the graph. And if you want to know the y-axis in the graph, you can look at this. They will tell you siapa melawan siapa, siapa against siapa. So usually they will tell you this. So you can look here to know what's the y-axis. So the y-axis has to be log y against square root x. That means your y-axis is log y and your x-axis is square root x. So with that, now you can tambah log lah. Yeah, because you want the y-axis in the equation match with the y-axis in the graph. So tambah log. And when you tambah log, you have to tambah both sides like that. So this will be y, this will be r over d power negative square root x. Okay, your y-axis in the equation already matched with the y-axis from the graph. So that one you can write it down. And then for this one, you have to susun jadi mx plus c. So you have to pecahkan dia lah. Okay, single log divide memang boleh pecah jadi separate log minus. So it becomes log 10r minus log 10 d power negative square root x, and the power you can put it in front. So it becomes negative square root x like this. Okay, negative negative become positive. So it becomes log 10y equals to negative negative jadi positive, right? So it becomes log 10r plus square root x log 10d. Okay, now I have to arrange a bit. Saya kena susun jadi mx plus c. So this will be the y. Okay, kalau nak susun mx plus c, I have to write this one first. Tapi saya tak boleh tulis square root x darab log d. Saya kena tulis log d darab square root x because my x-axis is square root x. So that's why you have to write m dulu baru tulis x and then tambah c, which is the log 10r. So now that's your linear form lah. Sudah siap. So y equals mx plus c. So your y-axis is log y, your x-axis is square root x. Okay, sama dengan ni, sama dengan graph. That means the gradient log d will be equal to the gradient from the graph. And then the log r y-intercept, that one will be same with the y-intercept from the graph. Okay, and you have to do this. Kalau tak, you tak boleh buat part C nanti. Okay, okay. The next part is draw table lah. Okay, but they actually ask you to draw the table. They say fill in the table, and they already draw nicely for you. Okay, so we just have to fill in the table lah. Okay, the table we need to get the value for square root x and log y. Yeah, because your y-axis and x-axis change to square root x and log y already. So how to find the square root x? Okay, you can just refer the atas punya table. All these are the values of x. So how to get the square root x? Just square root all these lah. Square root 4, square root 16, 4. Square root 36, 6. Square root 64, 8. Square root 100, 10. Square root 144, 12. And then for the next part, to find log y, you have to tekan log ini, semua tekan log lah, right? But you write in two decimal place because this is a graph question. So you should write two decimal place. Okay, for graph question, memang tulis dua decimal place cukup. Alright, what is log 1.86 base 10? Okay, if you write two decimal place, it's 0.27. And then tekan log 2.63 is 0.42. And then tekan log 3.85, 0.59. Okay, and then log 5.5, the one is 0.74. And then log 7.94, 0.90. And then the last one, log 11.22 is 1.05. Okay, so these are all the values. Yang ni nothing for me to teach lah, just tekan kalkulator saja kan. Okay, so A sudah siap. Okay, B dia suruh plot log 10y against square root x using the skala. Okay, so nanti kita ikut skala, hence draw the line of best fit. Okay, before I go to the graph paper, let's determine berapa kotak yang saya akan guna dulu. Okay, first of all the values are positive. Semua nilai sini positif. That means you punya 0, 0 mesti letak bottom left corner. You kena letak bawah kiri. Because every value is positive. That means all the graph is in the first quadrant. Now we think about the skala. 2 cm to 2 unit on this axis. So sini 2 cm to 2. So you just go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 lah. So guna 6 kotak sini lah. Okay. Okay, for the y-axis, 2 cm to 0.1 on the log y-axis. So if I go 0.1, then I keep going up until when? Okay, the highest value is 1.05. So I think I can go until 1.1. Okay. Yeah, so this is the plan. 0.1 until 0.12 like that. Okay, so okay, if I start here, I feel like it's not enough space. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. Yeah, it's not enough space. So I have to start at here. So this would be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 1.0, 1.1. Yeah. And then for the x-axis is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, the x-axis is square root x, and then the y-axis is log 10y. Okay, later your line is going up or going down. So the y value is, so it has to be like that lah. So hopefully the y-intercept will be positive lah. Because if it's negative, then I can't find it already. Yeah, because my graph is here. Okay. Okay, the first one is 0.27. So I feel like, I think, yeah, the y-intercept will be positive. Hopefully lah. Because if it's negative, then is not, the graph paper is not big enough already for me to baca. Okay, so this is the x-axis, and then for the y-axis is here. Okay, done. Now we can plot the points lah. Okay, after we draw the graph, we have to write the tajuk tau. Okay, but we can write it now lah. If you write it now, then later you won't forget. So the tajuk will be graph of log 10y against square root x. Yeah, that's the tajuk. And then underline this. Okay, let's start to plot the points. Okay, let's start with the first one. 0.27. Okay, 2 dekat sini. 0.27 is 0.3 turun 3 kotak. Yeah, because you turun 1 is 0.29, 28, 27. Done. Okay, next one. 4, 0.42. Okay, this is quite easy also. 4 is here. 0.42 is 0.4 naik 2 kotak. But make sure you plot at 4 lah. Okay, sudah siap. Next one, 6, 0.59. Okay, 6 is here. 0.59 is 0.6 turun 1 kotak lah. Siap. Yeah. Okay, next one is 8, 0.74. So 8 dekat sini. 0.74 is 0.7 naik 4 kotak. So it's here. Yeah, because you naik 71, 72, 73, 74. Okay, done. Next one, 10, 0.9. Okay, ini senang. 10, 0.9. It's here. 10 is here. 0.9 is here. Okay, for the last point. 12, 1.05. Okay, 12 is here. 1.05 is 1.0, 1.1 middle lah. 2, 3, 4. So it's here. Yeah, because 1.05 is 1.0 and 1.1 tengah-tengah. Okay. Okay, I sudah siap plot dia punya points. Sekarang kita boleh buat garisan lah. We can draw the line of best fit. Okay, when we draw line of best fit, we will try to make sure that the line sentuh paling banyak point. We want it to touch the most points. So if I draw like that, okay, if I try to join like that, you can see if I join the first point and the second point, it's not good because it only touches 2 points and the rest of the point all draw atas. Okay, and some of the point is like quite far away. So I will adjust, maybe try to join the first and the third point and see what happens. So if you join like that, it's better because it touches more points, right? Well, actually, it touches all the points except the third one. Yeah, only this is the only point yang miss. So it's very obvious lah. This is the line of best fit is confirmed is this one already. Okay, but you have to panjangkan so that it touch the y-axis. So something like that. So you can see that the line will touch all the points. Only maybe this one lah. Okay. Yeah. So sentuh, 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 sentuh. Yeah, only the third point tak sentuh. Yeah, that's why this is the line of best fit. Okay. Done with this part. Now we can do C lah. Okay, use your graph in 1B, find the value of R and D. Okay, this one you have to refer your linear form equation. So you have to go here, and then when you do part C, you have to find R and D, and then you can have to tengok you punya gradient daripada equation. So it's log 10D. So log 10D is the gradient. And then log 10R, that is the y-intercept. But the y have to use rho besar. Yeah, you have to write the big Y. Okay, let's find out the y-intercept and then masuk sini lah. Alright, what's the y-intercept? Okay, my one is at 0 naik satu kotak. So 0.11. So just put here 0.11. And then how to find R? You do anti-log lah. Pindah the 10 here, so it becomes 10 power 0.11. Because when you pindah the log base will become the number base. So this thing become power. So now you press 10 power 0.11, 1.288. Okay. Another way to press this is you tekan shift lock. Yeah, you can also tekan shift lock 0.11. Can also get same. Okay, now for the next part is gradient. So to find gradient, you need 2 points. Okay, kena ambil 2 point daripada graph. Okay, I will take 2 points from 0 to 10. Yeah, from 0 to 10. Okay, satu point saya akan ambil dekat x kosong, which is 0, 0.11. Another point I will take at 10. Why I take at 10 is because if I take at 10, later the difference in x will be 10. And when you divide by 10, your answer will be nice lah. And also, this point memang ada sentuh. So 10, 0.9. So it will be a good point lah. That's why I choose this. Alright, and then you should draw a dotted line to join the 2 points. Use ruler lah. Make sure you use ruler. Okay, and then put a 90 degree. Okay, now how to find gradient? Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So 0.9 minus 0.11. 0.9 minus 0.11 divide with 10 minus 0. So you get log 10D. Okay, 0.9 minus 0.11. The calculator will give you 0.79. But you have to divide 10. So it's 0.079 lah. And then your D will be do anti-log. So you have to tekan 10 power answer. Okay. So you'll be 1.199. Yeah. So you can write in 4 significant figures. Okay. That's all for this question. Sudah siap? Alright, let's do bahagian C. So they want us to jawab 2 soalan. Okay, but they will give us 4 questions later. And I will jawab all of it except the kinematics question. Okay. Alright, let's start with 12. This is definitely the triangle one. So from 4 chapter 9, solution of triangle in VM, penyelesaian segitiga. Alright, let's go. Diagram 6 shows a cyclic quadrilateral PQRS. A few things you need to know about cyclic quadrilateral. What is cyclic quadrilateral? Cyclic quadrilateral means when there is a quadrilateral inside the circle and all the 4 corner touches the side of the circle, then we call it cyclic quadrilateral. And when it's a cyclic quadrilateral, the opposite angle plus together will give you 180. So 85 plus this angle will be 180. This whole angle plus this whole angle right here is 180 also. So I can find this angle right now, which is 180 minus 85, and I'll do it now. Okay, so it's 95. Okay, it's 95. Okay, all right, and the opposite two angle here will be 180 also. But since I don't know since I don't know both of it, so I will leave it for now. Okay, all right. And they also give you a side here, 7.5 cm. All right, let's see what other information here. Given that length of PQ is 9 cm. Okay, another information. Oh, the moment I write 9, I realized already can use cosine rule for this triangle. Yeah, whenever I do the solution of triangle question, I'm always aware of what case can use cosine rule, what case can use sine rule. So what case can use sine rule? When you have one complete pair and you have the opposite of what you want to find. Then you can use sine rule. And then cosine rule is when you have two sides, one included angle, or maybe you have three sides and you're trying to find any angle inside, right? Yeah, so these are the only two cases that you can use cosine rule. So the moment I write 9, you see, I see two sides, one included angle. So immediately, my mind goes to think about cosine rule, and I know I can find cosine rule. When I find PR, I can use cosine rule using this triangle. Okay, okay. Ada lagi satu information. RS is 4. Where is RS? So 4 is here. Okay, so A1 dia nak suruh cari PR. So just like how I said it just now, I use the cosine rule. Okay, but you'll use this triangle, not the triangle yang bawah, because the triangle bawah not enough information. Even though you have the opposite of what you want to find, 95, but you don't have one complete pair in this triangle. So it doesn't work if you use the bawah punya triangle. You have to use the atas punya triangle, and you have to use cosine rule. Alright, the cosine rule is A square equals B square plus C square minus 2BC cos A. And you have to make sure okay, if the B and C you terbalik tulis, itu tak apa, dia takkan affect answer. Tapi you punya A kena tulis betul, because if your small a is wrong, then the whole thing wrong. And I always tell my student how to determine the A easily. It's very easy one. Just look at what's opposite the angle. So opposite angle itulah A. Opposite angle itulah A. Right? So the small a is always the side that is opposite the angle. So which angle? 85 ma. So the side opposite the angle, that's the PR lah. So it means your small a is the side PR. And then the B and C, small b, small c will be the other two sides. 7.5 square plus 9 square minus 2 times 7.5 times 9. And then times with cos A. And the A is the angle 85. So now I can get my PR. Okay, the square when you hantar sana jadi square root. And now I will just press all this in my calculator. Okay. Macam mana saya tulis macam tu lah. Tekan just ikut sama saja. And you get 125.48. And then square root answer. And you will get 11.20. Okay, so you use your calculator lah. Alright, so PR is 11.20 cm. If you write in 4 significant figure, this is the answer. Okay, make sure you label in the diagram also. And I noticed something. I have once I write the PR side, I realize that the bawah punya triangle have more information already, because now you have one complete pair here, right? You have one side and one angle that is opposite to each other, and you have another side which is 4. That means you can use sine rule to find this angle. Yeah, you can use sine rule to find this angle, because when you use sine rule, you need to have the opposite of what you want and one complete pair. So yeah, it's possible to use sine rule to find this angle. Okay. All right, so let's see what they want for the next question. So the next question actually asks for angle, but they want angle PRS. And where is PRS? PRS is here. Okay, let me tell you what you have to do. You have to use sine rule to find this angle first. And then 180 minus this minus this. That's the only way. That's the only way. You cannot use sine rule directly to find this. Yeah, you cannot find this directly using sine rule, because you don't have the side that is opposite this angle, which is the PS. You don't have that. Okay, but you have 4, which is opposite this angle. That is why I said you use sine rule to find this angle first. So let's call it RPS. I know this is not the angle I want to find, but we need to find this angle first. So RPS over 4 like that, and then equals to the complete pair, which is sine. Okay, I read angle atas, so 95 atas, 11.20 bawah like that. So now you can find sine RPS. Just press this one, divide this one times 4 lah. Okay, I usually write for this one I'll write 0 point something. So I usually write 4 significant, so 0.3558. And then when you press shift sign answer, you will get 2 answer, but the calculator will only give you the quadrant 1 answer. And I'll write in degree minute, so 20 degree 50 minutes like that. Okay. Okay, you need to know something. When you press shift sign or shift cos or shift tangent, there's actually 2 answers. And you have to double check whether they want the small answer or the big answer. Okay, so how you know is you check quadrant lah, add sugar to coffee, and your sign positive, so it's quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. But For this case, you will take the first correct answer because if you tengok sini, this is an acute angle. It's less than 90, right? Because 90 degree is like that. So this is less than 90. That's why you take the first correct answer. Okay. But still, you still have to check. Because dalam triangle, sometimes you might want to take the second correct answer one. Depending on like the shape lah. Because sometimes the angle maybe is a quadrant 2 angle. Okay. Okay, but this one is the quadrant 1 lah. But sebenarnya ada lagi satu jawapan. And to get that answer, you have to take 180 minus this. Okay. But you already see that it's a acute angle. So ini automatic is the answer. Okay. After this, label it here. Now to find this angle is very easy already. So angle PRS is 180. The total angle inside the triangle is 180 minus 95 minus 20 degree 50 minutes. All right, you're gonna get 64 degree 10 minutes. And then you can label it here also. Okay. Every time you have new information comes in, make sure you label it inside because you might use it for the next question. All right, what about B1? Find the area in cm square of the triangle PQR. Okay, this one confirm you use the 102 AB sin C formula. Yeah, that's the formula you learn in this chapter to find area. So I will just write area here, but which triangle they want? PQR, which is this one. And do you know when you find area, you need to have two sides and included angle. Two sides and the included angle. So the two sides is 9 and 7.5 and the included angle is 85 lah. Included angle means the angle between the two sides. Okay, 102 AB sin C, so sin 85 like that. So now I'm just gonna press all this and then I'll get the answer. So 33.62 cm square. Area so cm square. Okay, last one. Find the shortest distance in cm from Q to PR. Okay, guys, I need you all to know something. When they ask you to find shortest distance in the solution of triangle question, in the solution of triangle question, if they ask for shortest distance, immediately you do like that. 1 over 2 times base times height equals to 1 over 2 AB sin C. This is how I teach my student. Okay, so I repeat one more time. This is very helpful. Yeah, in solution of triangle, they ask this a lot actually. In the solution of triangle question, they ask for the shortest distance a lot. Yeah, I see so many times happen already. So every time you see that, you immediately do like that. You find the area of triangle using the 102 times base times height, and then find the area of triangle using 102 AB sin C and equal. And most of the time, this one you mostly have already. Yeah, because usually, this one you usually find it before already. And if you find it before already, then you just masukkan the jawapan lah. You do like that. Okay, let me tell you why you have to use this method to do it. Because shortest distance always means that it's going to be perpendicular 90 degrees. So if they want shortest distance from Q to PR, what you have to do is you have to go Q and you have to tarik a line to PR which is 90 degree to PR. Because that's going to be the shortest distance, the 90 degree one, right? So tell me, if you tarik macam ni, that means this will be the vertical height and then the base will be the 11.2 already. That is why you can use the area of triangle formula that you learn way back in form 1, form 2, which is 1 over 2 times base times height. Okay, but you have to do 1 over 2 times base times height equals to 1 over 2 AB sin C. So the base jadikan 11.20, so dia akan jadi apa? 1 over 2 times 11.20 times base times height. And then the height, that's gonna be the answer lah. The height, the h, that's the shortest distance from Q to PR. And then equals to 1 over 2 AB sin C for this triangle. And the 1 over 2 AB sin C will be 1 over 2 times 9 times 7.5 times sin 85, which you already do. So why not just masukkan 33.62 like that? Okay. So I know the question never asks you to find area or anything, but just remember this. When you find shortest distance in this specific chapter only, the solution of triangle question, you will always do like that. Always. I see so many questions already, and it's always like that. That's the only way. Okay, so just remember that. So now you can just find your h easily. So you can press 11.2 divide 2 first, and then 33.62 divide answer. So if I write in 4 even figure, is 6.004 cm. So that's gonna be the answer. Alright, so this is how you get the full mark for this question. So this question is worth 10 marks lah. Alright, let's go. Okay, 13. This is also a 10 marks question. All the section B, section C question, all is 10 marks one lah. Okay, this one is index number from 4 chapter 10. Alright, let's go. Table 2 shows that information related to 4 main ingredients. Let's check. Corn, coconut milk, sugar, wheat. Okay. And the quantity used by Puan Norcia to make kueh bakar manis. So all this ingredient is used to make this kueh. And then you have all this value here. Okay, this one is the price per kg. So I'll write P23. Okay, the P represents price, and then P24 represents price. This one is price index, so that's the I lah. But it's for 24 based on 23, so 24 atas, 23 bawah. And then quantity use, okay, this one is weightage, confirm. Yeah, it's confirm weightage. Okay, yeah. All right, so soalan A, find the value of X and Y. All right, this one can use the first formula, the price index formula. So for X, it will be, X is the price index for 24 based on 23. So it will be 6 divided 4.8 times 100. So your X value is 125. And I will write it here also, because confirm later you will use this to find the composite index. Because usually when they give you weightage, the weightage you will use it to find composite index. So when you find composite index, you need the price index and the weightage. So that's why I put it here. All right, the next one is, well, we want to find Y. So the Y is here, right? So how to find Y? Okay, Y is the price in 2023. So the Y have to letak bawah lah. And then the 3 ringgit, the one have to letak atas times 100 equals to 109. And then how you pindah the 100 jadi divide. So 109 divide 100, 1.09. And then the Y and 1.09 boleh tukar tempat. Bahagi jadi darab jadi bahagi. So they just switch place lah. 3 divide 1.09 is 2.75. But this one is price, so I'll write RM. For the X study, tak payah tulis RM because that's the price index study unit. So 2.75 is the answer. Now for Z, Z is the, oh no, the soalan only asked to find X and Y. So that's the answer lah. Okay. And also Z is the weightage. So I'm sure later you have to use composite index to find. Okay. All right, so I already have my XY. Let's do the next question. B, the composite index for the cost of producing kueh bakar manis in the year 2024 based on 2023 is 116. Find the value of Z. So there you go. They want to find Z. But they could give us information here. The 116 is the composite index for 24 based on 23. Okay, I need space for this. So I'm just going to do it up here. So I'll just draw a line. Very long line. And then equals to 116. And then I'll just do the composite index formula. Okay. All right. The composite index formula is you have to take the index, price index, times with the weightage, and then jumlahkan, and then divide with the total weightage. Okay. So it will be 125 times 150 plus 109 times 150 plus 105 times 100 plus 120 times Z. And the Z you memang nak cari nanti. Tapi boleh carilah sebab you ada jawapan sini dah. So nanti boleh pindah. Okay, divide with the total weightage, which is 150 plus 150 plus 100 plus Z. Okay, another thing I want to mention. The reason why you can straight away take from here is because the 116, that is the composite index for 24 based on 23 also. And this is also the price index for 24 based on 23. So the year already match. Yeah, the year here match with the composite index punya year here. So that's why you can straight away take lah. Alright, now I can solve for Z. Okay, I'm gonna need some space here. Alright, so I will move it up here and then I will do my B here. Okay, yang atas ini dengan ni boleh tambah. Okay, but the Z, the one Z tak boleh lah. So the Z I write it like this, and then these three I press calculator and then add together. Okay, my calculator give me 45600. And then the one yang bawah, the Z I leave it. And then this one number dengan number boleh buat. So 300 plus 100 is 400. And then equals to 116. And then how you will pindah this whole thing move up here lah. So 45600 plus 120Z equals 116 times 400. Let me press, my calculator says 46400. And then 116 times Z is 116Z. Z dengan Z boleh buat, number dengan number boleh buat. So 116 move here become minus, so become 4Z. Number dengan number boleh buat, so 46400 minus 5600. So I got 800. And then your Z comes out already. 800 divided 4 is 200. So that is the Z. Okay, I remember the weightage is the gram, right? Yeah, everything is in gram. So it's better you just write the 200, the unit also lah, the gram. Okay. Okay, that's all for B. Okay, now we can do C. The increment of the cost of producing kueh bakar manis in 25 from 24 is the same as the increment for the cost producing kueh bakar manis from 23 to 24. Oh, that means the index for 25, 24 is equals to the index for 24, 23 because the increment of the cost is the same. So the amount here increase is the same. That's why the price index will be the same. Okay, but let me tell you something. This is actually the composite index. Because it's the cost of producing kueh bakar manis. That means it's not just for one single ingredient, it's for the whole average. So that's why it's the composite index. Okay. And guess what? You already have the 116 because the 116 is the 24 based on 23. So is equals to 116. Yang ni punya pun 116, yang ini punya pun 116. Okay, because they are equal. Okay, let's see what else. The cost. Okay, so this one confirm is the P lah. The cost price of kueh bakar manis in 23 is 4 ringgit. So it's 23 4 ringgit. Price in 2023. And then find the selling price of kueh bakar manis if Puan Norcia wants to obtain a profit of 30% in the year 2025. Okay, they want to find selling price in 2025, but let me tell you, this 4 ringgit is the cost price. And cost price, I usually tell my student is like a buying price. Okay, it's like a buying price. Okay, and you have to know the formula for profit. Profit, it comes from taking the selling price minus the buying price. Yeah, because if you want to know how much you earn, you need to take the selling price, how much you sell, minus with how much you spend to buy the product, how much you spend on making the product. That is why the formula is like that. Okay, selling price minus buying price. But the 4 ringgit yang dia bagi sini, that is the cost, the buying price. But they ask for selling price, right? But it's okay. Later, after you find the cost price in 2025 first. You find the 2025 selling price dulu. And then after you get the selling price, you pin let me think. You sorry. Yeah, after you find your price 2025, that's gonna be the cost price. That's gonna be the cost price, or you can say the buying price. Okay. And then after you get the buying price, how to find the selling price? You just plus with the profit lah. Yeah, you just plus with the profit. Okay. Because to get the selling price, you just take the profit plus with the buying price, right? Okay, so now I'll try to find P25, and the formula we will use is the first formula. Yeah, the first formula. Because when you're doing index and they ask you to find price any price lah, cost price or selling price, mesti guna the first formula one. So P1 or P0 times 100 confirm. Okay, but actually you cannot do this first. You realize you don't have enough information. Yeah, you need the 25, 23 punya index dulu. But it's okay. I got leave some space here. So let me tell you why it doesn't work. Why you have to find some other stuff first. Because this is 25, this is 23. So obviously 25 kena atas. And then 23 kena bawah. And then the I will automatically be 25, 23, and it will be the composite index. Yeah, yeah, it will be the composite index. So you realize that you only have the 4. You only have the 4. And you're trying to find the P25. But you need this, right? You did this. That is why you have to find this first lah. But how to find? Okay, this one is 25, 23. So you don't go and put the 116 here. No, 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 no. 116 is for 24, 23, and 25, 24. So it's not the same. So what you will do is you will do the smiley face method and then try to find for 25, 23. Okay, so you write the year here, starting from the 2023, followed by 24, followed by 25, and then the 116 is for 24, 23, and the 116 is also for 25, 24. So it's here also. So now you can find the 25, 23, and the formula is always yang bawah ni sama dengan atas darab atas bahagi 100. So 116 times 116 divided 100. And that's how you find the composite index for 25, 23. Okay. All right. So you press this and you will get 134.56. And of course, this one you can put it here already. And then now you can find the price 25 lah. So you just tekan this one, divide 100 times 4. So you get 5.38. But this is not the answer. This is not the answer. Why is this not the answer? Because just now the 4 ringgit is the cost price. So it means yang bawah ni you masuk cost price ataupun the buying price. It means yang atas dia keluar automatic pun akan jadi cost price in 2025. But they are asking you the selling price in 2025 if she wants to obtain 30%. So how to get profit? Okay, the formula for okay, when you take selling price minus the buying price, you get the profit. So in order to find selling price, you have to take the profit, or you can say you can take the buying price, means the cost lah, plus with the profit lah. Because this one you pindah sana mah. Okay. And the buying price will be the cost, which is 5.38 in 2025, right? 5.38. But you have to plus with profit, and the profit they want to earn 30%. They want to earn 30%. 30%. So you have to plus with 30% times with the 5.38 lah. Or maybe some smart students, they want to straight away darab 130% can also. Yeah, because it's like you direct the original price and then plus with the original value. So you just straight away direct 130% can also. Alright, so I will get RM. You press all this, you'll get 7. That means the selling price is 7 ringgit. If you want to earn 30% profit, she has to sell it at 7 ringgit. Alright, that's it. Okay, 14 I won't do. That's the kinematics. Okay, this is the last question. Let's finish it. Okay, this is definitely from 5 chapter. The linear programming chapter is 7. Yeah, linear programming. Pengatur caraan linear. Okay, use graph paper to answer this question. Okay, yeah, this one memang kena guna graph paper. Private higher education institution A offers 2 courses, engineering and medicine. So you have two different things here, engineering, medicine. The number of students for engineering course is X, while the number of students for the medicine course is Y. So engineering is X, medicine is Y. So this is important, because when we're doing linear programming, it's always important to know what the XY represents. If you don't know what the XY represents, you cannot write the inequality later. So engineering is X, medicine is Y. Okay, the intake of student of each course are based on the following constraint. Constraint means like the condition, the syarat. So you have three syarat here, and then A write 3 inequalities other than X bigger than 0, Y bigger than 0, satisfy all the above constraint. So let's write the 3 inequalities. Okay, what's the meaning of X bigger 0, Y bigger 0? It means X and Y has to be 0 or more than 0. Yeah lah, because X, Y is the number of student for the course. So number of student mana boleh ada negative, right? Okay, so let's write the 3 inequality. First one, the minimum. Okay, minimum means the symbol is bigger or equals. So the minimum number of students in the engineering score is 200, while the maximum number is 500. Okay, that's two inequality actually here. First one is minimum is 200. So for engineering X, the minimum, so X bigger equals 200 lah. And then the maximum number is 500. So it's still A for engineering, so it's still X, but the maximum symbol is smaller equals, and it's 500 like that, right? But the soalan asks us to write 3 inequalities. If I write like that, then later there will be 1 inequality, 2 inequality, and then 3, and then 4 already. So there will be 4 inequality already. So I feel like I have to combine these 2 inequality into one, and you can combine it because if the minimum is 200 and the maximum is 500, that means you combine it becomes what? You combine it becomes X in between 200 and 500 lah. Yeah, so you write like this. But when you draw the graph later, you have to draw two lines. You understand? You have to draw 2 lines when you draw the graph lah. Yeah, when you do part B later, you have to draw 2 lines. But when you're doing part A, you will just write one equality to combine them. But when you draw it, it's actually 2 lines, and it's actually 2 vertical lines, one at 200, one at 500, and the shaded region will be somewhere in between these 2 lines. Okay, yeah, somewhere in between lah. Yeah, because you have to make sure it overlaps with the second and the third inequality also. So that's why it's somewhere in between. Okay, number 2, the total number of students in both courses does not exceed 700. So X plus Y does not exceed smaller equals 700. Okay, so that's the second inequality. And for the last one, that will be the number of engineering students exceeds 2 times the number of medicine students by at most 200. Okay, this type of inequality question I always teach my student, ambil besar tolak kecil. If you're my student, you know this one lah. I always tell this. Okay, this is like when you're doing the inequality, sometimes they ask like that, right? And student don't know how to write it. So when you jumpa soalan yang macam ni, yang dia kata apa something exceeds something by at most something macam tu, you just ambil besar tolak kecil. So engineering is X. 2 times it means 2 kali ganda. Medicine is Y. And they say by at most 200, so you ambil dia punya besar tolak kecil dulu. So they say engineering exceed 2 times of medicine by at most 200. It means the X has to be more than 2Y, but the difference is at most 200. At most 200 means dia punya beza kena 200 atau kurang daripada 200. Okay. So when you ambil besar tolak kecil, dia mesti X minus 2Y lah. Because they already say X lebih besar X has to exceed 2Y. And the difference, when you ambil besar tolak kecil, the difference is at most 200, so smaller equals 200. Okay. So that's all lah. That's the answer lah. Okay, but you have to be careful because later when you do the part B, when you draw the graph, when you draw this line, you have to shade above the region. I mean, you have to shade above the line because this one is negative. Yeah, the Y is negative on left side, so you have to move it here so that it becomes positive. Yeah, because when you move here, then it's like you kena tengok dari sini. So later this one have to lorek atas garisan. Walaupun Walaupun dia smaller. Yeah, because the y is negative. Okay, tak apa. Nanti bila saya sampai situ, I'll explain one more time for you. Okay, B. Using a scale of 2 cm to 100 on both axes, construct and shade the region which satisfy all the above constraints. Okay, before going to the graph paper, you need to do a step which is you have to find the coordinates. You kena cari coordinate. Tapi bukan semua line yang kena cari coordinate. You only need to cari coordinate for line yang sengit. Line yang sengit. So for B, I will do it here lah. Okay, so ada tak line yang sengit? Okay, the first line. Okay, I told you right, for the first inequality, this is the first inequality, the second one, the third one. But when you draw the first one, you will actually break it down into two lines because this one is in between. So you have to draw x equals 200, x equals 500. But for this type of equation, you don't have to find any points. Because dia tak ada x, tak ada y. Dia ada x sahaja. So kalau dia ada x sahaja, then that means dia bukan side line yang sengit. Okay. Kalau dia ada x, ada y, then only is a sengit line. So this one you don't have to find any points. Don't have to find coordinate. For the x plus y equals 700, ada x, ada y mah. So kalau ada x, ada y, dua-dua x, y pun ada, that means it's a sengit line. So I will change it to equal first, and then I will open two bracket, and then find some coordinates. So usually we sub x0, y0 lah. Okay. So x0 is 700, y0 is x7, 700. Okay. Okay, now for the next line, this one also a sengit line because the other x, other y. So x minus 2y equals 200. That's the line that we will draw later, but we'll find some points. If you sub x0, your y will be 200 divided negative 2, which is negative 100. So that's not good because in this chapter, we will not use any negative value. Yeah, in this chapter, the x and y both has to be bigger 0. So later your 0, 0 origin have to put at the bottom left corner, and everything is happens in the first quadrant. Okay, so try not to use any negative value in this graph question only, in this chapter only. Okay, but it's okay. Let's start y0, see what happens. Okay, this one is okay. X is 200 when the y0. So for this point, I can worry about it later. Okay, worry about it later. Now we draw the axis and then draw the graph first lah. Okay, 2 cm to 100 on both axes, but I told you, right, this we will always start at the bottom left corner. So let's start here and then let's go 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. And if you are my student, you will know this. I always said for this chapter, remember always standard. Sini guna 8 kotak, sini guna 10 kotak. Doesn't matter what the scala says. You always just go 8 kotak, 10 kotak. Okay, but of course you have to follow the scala lah. If it's 100, then you follow lah 100. Okay, but sini guna 8 kotak, sini guna 10 kotak. Yeah. So there will be 100, 200, 300, 400, and then 500, 600, 700. Oh, why I write 7,000? Okay, and then 800. And of course, here you have to write y, until 1,000. Yeah, you have to use 10 kotak here. 900, 1,000. Okay, and this is your y. And then your x is here. Okay, now let's plot the first line. Okay, I remember the first line is x equals 200. Yeah, because it's the one yang in between, right? But I told you already, this in between, you actually have to draw two lines for that. So the first line is x equals 200 and then x equals 500. Don't look at the bigger, smaller first. That one, when we shade the region, baru kita tengok. Sekarang kita kena draw line. So we don't look at the symbol smaller or bigger. We just draw, go to x, pergi 200, just draw a vertical line. Yeah, this is the line for x equals 200. And for x equals 500, the line is here. And student always never check this. They always never check whether it's a solid line or the dash line. Okay, but if you're my student, you know one. I always tell them like kena check. So you have to double check before you draw the line whether it's a solid line or dash line. But this one is a solid line lah, because the other equal, bigger equal, smaller equals, other equal. And actually for this question, all the line will be solid line, because all the inequality other equal, other equal. That means everything will be solid line later. Okay, this equation is x equals 200. This equation is x equals 500. And later your shaded region will be somewhere in between here. Okay, yeah, it needs to be overlap with the second and the third inequality also. Okay, the second inequality is x plus y smaller 700, but you draw the line first. So you join 0, 700 and 700, 0. So can I plot that? Yes, yeah, I can plot that. So 0, 700, 700, 0 is here. Okay. Okay, if the 700, 0 cannot plot, then you find another point lah. Kalau ada case yang macam ni, yang dia punya point maybe is outside the graph paper, or yeah, dia tak boleh sampai situ, then you find some other point lah. Okay? Yeah, you can tukar the point one. Okay, let's join, and it will be solid line also because they are the equal. And then write the equation x plus y equals 700. Equals 700. Okay, for the last line, the final line, I remember the first point I erased just now because I erased because it's a negative value. That's why I didn't take it. So worry about it later. Let's plot 200 0. So 200 0 is here. Okay, 200 0 is here. Okay, now I need to join this point to another point, and the other point I need to find it now lah. Okay, let me tell you how I will find it. Okay, the way I always tell my student is first you look at the equation and jadikan x single or y single first. So you can see that if you jadikan x single, it will be easier because there will be no fraction. So x equals 200 plus 2y like that. And then for the y value, you just sub with any y value here, right? Because there's so many y. Okay, but make sure you sub, you tekan and see what you get lah. So don't sub 1000, because if you sub y 1000, what's gonna happen is 1000 times 2 is 2000, 2000 plus 200. It means you have to go x and plot 2200. Tapi you punya x sampai 800 saja. So it's not smart. So you keep on trying with the y value until you get an answer that you can plot, until you get a point that is like senang untuk plot. So I will use the point 100. Yeah, I'll use the point 100 because when I use 100, I realized 100 times 2 is 200. 200 plus 200 is 400. So your x will be 400. That means when the y is 100, the x is 400. And yeah, point ni memang boleh plot. Senang saja. 400, 100 is here. Macam tu. Okay, now you're done. Now you can join the line, and it will be a solid line also. Yeah, I told you in the beginning, all these lines will be solid line. Okay, remember to write the equation x minus 2y equals 200. Okay, next step is to shade the region lah. Okay, I already know it will be in between these two lines. So is either here or here or here. Cannot be here, cannot be here. Tak mungkin. Tak mungkin. Because they already said x has to be bigger than 200, x has to be smaller than 500, both at the same time. So it's definitely this one, or this one. But which one? Okay, you check the second inequality and the third inequality lah. The second one says, okay, make sure the y is already positive on the left side, then baru you boleh tengok. So the y is already positive, so boleh tengok. So it's smaller, right? It means you have to lorek bawah garisan. You have to take the region below this line, the x plus y 700 line. So where is the x plus y 700 line? You can see it's this line right here. So when you take bawah this line, means this one wrong already lah. So it's either this or this. So now I just have to check the inequality for this line, x minus 2y 200, and then I will know where's the region. So x minus 2y 200, I know it says smaller, but actually you have to jadikan bigger tau, because the y is negative here. So what I have to do is you have to pindah sini jadi positive, and then tengok dari sini, so it becomes bigger. Okay, it means you have to lorek atas garisan. Okay, let me teach you another way. To, so that you understand lah. So if you don't understand the method I show you just now, you can do like that. You jadikan y positive on the left side. That means you pindah the x like that, negative x plus 200, and then you pindah the negative 2. So negative divide negative, positive 1 or 2, 200 divide 2, 100 like that. But you do know, right? When you divide by negative 2 like that, the symbol have to terbalik. That is why you have to lower it bigger lah. Now you understand. But usually when I teach my student, I didn't teach them to do all this one. Of course, you want to do this can also lah. But usually it's very easy one. If it's negative on the left side, just terbalikkan the symbol lah. Yeah. If the y is already positive on the left side, terus tengok. But if it's y negative on the left side, just take that and terbalikkan lah. Just terbalikkan lah. Yeah, bigger. But if you want to do this step, can also lah. Alright, so I have to. The point here is you have to lower atas garisan lah. Lower above the line. But which line? This line. X minus 2y equals 200. So you know it's not here. So this remaining triangle, that's the shaded region. So now you just take your ruler and then you start to shade. If you use ruler, it's gonna look nice. Alright. Usually they will say region R1. Yeah. So let's check. Ada tak dia suruh tulis R. Construct and shade the region R. Yeah. So 3 marks. Okay. So I'm done with the graph part. So now let's do C. Using the graph constructed in 15B, okay, find number 1, the maximum number of students that can be taken into medicine course if the number of engineering is 250. Okay, I still remember engineering is X, medicine is Y. Okay, when I do this question, I will do what? I will use the shaded region. Confirm. Yeah, confirm you'll be needing the shaded region. So they want to find maximum number of Y. So nak cari Y maximum. when x equals to 250. So I will write like this: when x equals 250, comma, and then cari y maximum. So I will go to the graph, pergi x-axis cari 250, and then I will start to tarik towards the shaded region. So when I tarik towards the shaded region, alright, this is awkward. This is very awkward because the line is actually here, right? Okay. So when things like that happen, the first thing is I will ask myself is like, okay, is it because I didn't draw the line nicely, right? So it's like hard to tell, right? Maybe I didn't draw it nicely, that's why it's like that, right? But it's okay. There's one method. There's one method. If you're not sure whether you draw the line nicely, you can do this. You sub the x250 inside this equation, and you see what you get, right? Because you are trying to find the point here when the x is 250, and this point passes through this line. So you can sub 250 minus 2y equals 200. But you don't sub into the wrong equation lah. If you sub the wrong equation, that's your problem lah. Okay, so negative 2y is 2y here. 250 minus 200 is 50, and you can see the y is 25. That means when the x is 250, it should be at 25. So that means I didn't draw my line wrongly. Dia memang dekat middle. Yeah, because the difference here is 100. So one kotak kecil is 100 divided 10. So one kotak is 10 lah. And if the correct answer is 25, that means it will be at here lah. Yeah, dia memang dekat sini. So 10, 20, 25. Yeah, this one is 20, this one is 30. So it's at 25 lah. That means I didn't draw wrong. My line is nice already. It's just that the point here memang ada dekat 25. So that will be the answer, 25, right? Okay, I want to mention something. Sometimes you cannot take the point on the line. Sometimes you cannot take the point on the line. You have to maybe naik lagi satu kotak or naik lagi dua kotak. So tell me, in which case where you cannot take the point on the line? If you're my student, I expect you all to be able to answer me one. I got two case. First case is when it's a dash line. Because when it's a dash line, then cannot take, because dash line dia tak boleh equal tau, dia kena dalam region lah. So you have to take maybe up lagi or up lagi dua kotak. And the second case is when it's a decimal, because the xy represents bilangan student, bilangan buku, bilangan whatever lah, bilangan pen or whatever. So bilangan tak boleh ada decimal semua tu. So you cannot have decimal. They cannot have decimal also lah. If you have decimal, same thing lah. You have to choose a point that is near there, but it has to be inside the shaded region, of course. If it's outside, then cannot already. But this one you can take is because dia tak ada decimal mah, 25, and also it's a solid line. So 25 is the answer. Okay. All right. Hopefully you understand. Now let's do number 2. Okay, number 2, I'll do it down here. Okay, find the maximum amount of fees that can be collected per semester if the fee for each engineering is X. Is 600, and the medicine is Y, and the fee is 800. Okay, they want to find maximum amount of fees. Okay, you will write total fees first. Okay. Okay. By the way, this is the sliding question lah. Yeah, the very famous sliding question. In this linear programming chapter, always have one question like that one. Yeah, they want to do the sliding. Okay. All right. I call it the slide question. So the total fees will be 600x plus 800y. And the way I always teach is I always tell them find the LCM. Write this again like this, and then find the LCM. LCM means the lowest common multiple for 600 and 800. Dalam bahasa Melayu, cari gandaan sepunya terkecil. So 600, 800 dia punya gandaan sepunya terkecil. Okay, I know 6 and 8 dia punya gandaan is 24. Okay, 24, right? 24. But you have to make sure this number is bigger than this. So this one got 2 0, so let's put 2 0 like that. Okay, and then now we can cari point lah. And usually we use x0, y0. Okay, when we ganti x0, your y will be 2400 divided 100. That's going to be 3. And then when your y0, your x will be this one divided this one will be 4. Okay, 4. Tapi usually, okay, if you go plot 0, 3, 3, 4, 0, boleh juga. Tapi susah lah, because yeah, it's actually very difficult. Because one kotak is 10 tau. And imagine you want to plot 3, like, yeah, the point will just be like that. Like, oh my god, like, it's so near, and yeah. So what you can do to fix this, just add a 0 here lah. Because when you add a 0 here, this becomes 0, 30, 40, 0. Now it becomes easy already. Yeah, still difficult lah. Let's add one more 0 lah. Like that. You see, now become easy already. 0, 300, 400, 0. Yeah, this one easy, yeah. Okay, 0, 300 is here. 400, 0 is here. Okay. But you don't go and add one more zero. If you add one more, then become 3000 already. Then 3000 cannot plot already. Okay? Okay, let me use another color line to show that it's a dash line. So this green color line means that you have to use dash line to draw here. Dash line, or you can say dotted line. Garisan yang putus-putus lah. Alright, the equation of this line must be written 600x plus 800y equals to 24. Okay, originally it's two zeros, but I add another two zeros, right? So 240000. Yes. Okay, now what you have to do, since they ask for maximum, that means you have to slide the line until you reach the final point on the shaded region. Okay, so the answer will always be at the corner lah. Yeah, it will be one. Not this corner. This one or this one. Yeah, it's not this. Because this small triangle we never shade it, right? Yeah, so it's either this or this. That's gonna be the maximum. So what I will do is I will duplicate this, and then I will slowly slide. And when I slide up, I have to make sure that the gradient of the line never change. It means it's parallel all the way. So the moment I slide until here, that's when I meet this corner right here. But that's not the maximum. So you keep going. Okay, you can see it touches this, but that's not the maximum. The maximum is gonna be this point up here. So that's the answer lah. But sir, how am I supposed to do it in my own paper? Okay, you can use two rulers. Okay, you can use two rulers. So one ruler you put it here, and make sure this side of the ruler is on this line, and then another ruler you use the pembaris panjang, and then you put it down here and make sure it's like stick, and then you slide up lah. You slide up and see when it touches the last point on the shaded region. Like that. Okay. You can do that. All right. After you reach here, now you put a dot and write down the coordinate, and the coordinate is 200, 500. And yeah, tak ada masalah, boleh ambil point ni. Kenapa boleh ambil? Sebab dia tak ada decimal mah. 200, 500 tak ada decimal, and also it's solid line. This point is on a solid line. So when it fulfill the two condition, that means you can ambil terus. So the 200, 500 will go to where? It will go to the formula here to find the maximum fees. So the maximum fees will be 600 times x plus 800 times y. And the point is 200, 500. Press this in your calculator and you're going to get RM 520k. Okay. Write RM lah because this is the fees. So the fees is in RM. Okay, I think that's it. This is the last question already. Okay, what is this? Arahan kepada calon tulis nama. Okay, this no need lah. Alright, so that's all for this video. Hopefully, you all this video help you in your revision. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to gain early access to all my future trial videos, you can join my membership. All the link is in the description. Okay. Alright, that's all for this. I'll see you next video. Bye bye.